Absurd surge, electrify the mind. I'm in charge of the buzz, get your power stripped. I'm my own plug, you the socket. Lent more punchlines, the trash in your pocket. That's you to stop it. More than rap, this composite, you gossip, I rock it. See the variation? It don't matter, black or white, bring the drama, Perry Mason. I'm adjacent to the destined, counting all my blessings while they selling their soul. No, you gotta be desperate like them housewives. Hear the real with my mouth wide, paths going north, but they still hear the south side in me. These rappers are actors who giving out Emmys. Find me a Denny's looking proud of their penny without an Oscar. I'ma lay it proper. Father, this sound ironic, didn't have a papa for most of my life. Foster home to home. Don't let me start. Comment tell me about real love. It starts in the heart, not the pants. Born without a chance. Probably met destiny plenty times and noticed when she glanced at me. When you dance with me, who would've known these dreamers become fans of me? Put up your hands for me. Touch the sky, the model we grew up with. Bumping that old Wayne, about to see if this truck fit in my garage. I'm kidding, no car, but I got drive. Even if I retire, never be top 5. I survived the rugged terrain. Determination in my brain, God help me find joy through the pain, gain clarity that I share to the masses. Same kid, they dreaming in classes. Future look disastrous. Time for the heroes and less facets. Clean air, less gases. But y'all know what I'm trying to convey. Chase streams, play games, watch a few anime. Found a path to be great, not a moment to waste. Mama check it, don't worry, I'm straight. We gon' take it to the top of the globe. Spread love, realest quote that I wrote. You know, sky's the limit. All my life I was sober. We surpassing that with each episode. Behold, a new episode. New day, a new episode. A new day, a new day, a new episode. A new day, a new episode. A new day, a new. Go ahead, let them throw that shade. You gotta wait to see the picture. Old Kodak days, don't go that way. They songs all filler, and it shows not at the museum. Fans never been stellar. Pendilla, so it's a route set score. I ain't trying to be known by a number like the kids next door, my lord. They want us in cages or the seats, cause we fresh to death. Cash is sharp every week. Who, me? I'm nothing but a kid from the boondocks, writing living color. Different world in my boombox, chilling in my afternoon socks with a cute thing. Excuse the missed call, they didn't notice you rang. Sharp tongue from the heavens, we thinking outside of the box. They call him Stoop Kid, never lead his steps. No one knows of his woes, cause he keeps to himself in seclusion. But me, I had to find out his story, so I sat by his stoop. He said his name's Corey. Told me how he used to be in love with a dame, but she left about as fast as she came. Said the sky's never been the same. Air's less fresh, chemtrails blanket the sky, and we compressed to a perfect world that we created within the mind. We blind to the truth as the days unwind. He finds happiness and watch the time go by. He asked, do you know why? Cause at least I'll know when we die. Society's engulfed in trends, and it's hard to find friends when your vision ain't the same through the lens. A cleanse what we need, but our pride won't accept it. Love's like a precious baby girl, and I'm wishing that we kept it. Neglected all our principles, kids laughing at me every day. How conventional, all one-dimensional. I wish I was invincible, I would just fly away. Aim for the sun, hope to land in a higher place. That's my escape from reality. Life is a dream, but it seems we've been sleeping in ravines. For now, I'ma chill with the ranting. Sit up on my stoop while the kids keep chanting. Stoop kids afraid to leave the stoop. Stoop kids afraid to leave it. 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 Stoop. A tear rolls down his cheek. He asks, how did life become bleak? We used to seek joy, now we lost in translation of the language called money. I pity our generation. I told him I agree, but you looking at the downside. It's a bigger world outside the walls you hide, and I can guide you to a new state of mind if you let me. But hearts can't receive what the soul isn't ready for. Look, life is a metaphor. It's up to you to find a meaning. You can't stand for something if you steadily leaning on pillars of self-loathing. Imagine what you're missing in addition to beautiful life that you ain't even living. Places that you never been, people that you'll never meet. Happiness if you're willing to seek beyond the stoop of your seclusion, but really just a barrier to block away the image of a place much scarier. Called reality. Well, he stopped me mid-sentence, took a step down like a sinner doing penance. Said he wanna take a chance. Thanks for the referral. Safe to say this boy's gonna finally leave the world. So stoop kids gonna leave it. Stoop kids.
Are you ready?
Word to wise, grass only greener when it's fertilized. Gave them truth in these songs, they prefer the lies. Destiny beautiful, adrift in her purple lies. You can't see me, you Stevie. Wondering how I reach more evolutions than Evie and make it look easy. Dream on, yeah. Dream on, dream weaver.
What is up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's Ernie, Blerd Without Fear. Welcome back to the Blerd Cave. Hopefully everybody can hear me just fine. I've been trying something different with the audio, so let me know if anything is weird other than, what's, normal. Want to say what's up to everybody that is in the house. What is going on? Let's see. I see some of the quiet council is rolling in. Hey, I see my peoples in here. Panther de Noir. I see Staff Sergeant in here. Let's see here. Let's see who else we got in here. Iraq Nizzle. Alfonso J. Flu. Rain. I see y'all up in here, god damn it. I see y'all in here. Look, we got stuff and things. We got stuff and things going on right now. It is just, God, it's been wild. Before I bring on my guest for today, because we do have special guests in the building. We do have special guests, not in the building technically. They're going to be on the stream. Yeah, we ain't letting anybody in the house. No outsiders in the house. What's up, Kevin? What's up, Dark Angel? Let's see. And all right, okay. So yeah, real quick. Some of you may have noticed I've been a little behind on some things. Actually, man, this week has just been weird. Lots been going on. Lots going on in the Blerd Cave. Lots been going on in the household. Lots. I got a lot on my mind lately. There's just been craziness happening. Craziness everywhere. So I apologize. Things kind of run behind a little bit. Sometimes I always go from being like really ahead to being drastically behind. So those are the only two speeds that the Blerd Without Fear knows. Let's see. Now, that said, let's see who else see a few more faces rolling in. Let's see. I see Comic God running through here. Victor, what's going on? The Amazing Symbiote. The Amazing Symbiote's in the building. Tubes and one in here. What's going on, my guy? Actually, I'm going to have a little something for you, hopefully a little later today. Let's see here. What's going on, Bruce? No, probably not. I did not enjoy the experience. It was, listening to somebody just talk at you for an hour and a half to 2 hours is, and not letting you get a word in edgewise is no fun to me. But anyways, what's going on, Enigma? What's going on? See Robert Kitchen in here. Yeah, it has been a little blurred. Everything's just been running together. What's going on, Tech Specs? Aw, shit. What's going on here, Milky? What's going on? Got a lot of good peoples in here. But yeah, so okay, let's go ahead and get the main thing out of the way. First and foremost, if you're in here right now, if we're kicking off the stream, let's kick it off right. Let's go ahead. We got 45 in here. Let's get those likes up. Let's go ahead and hit the like button, smash that like button, and we drive this whole thing up. Get YouTube to recognize Blerd Koa. Now let's go ahead and jump to it now. I didn't talk about this last week because there was some rumblings about this, but not to mention it just seemed like a pipe dream. But the idea that I don't know how many of you are familiar with the distribution company Comic Hub. Which, for those who are not as familiar, Comic Hub they basically tried to create a plan to kind of get around the whole idea that your LCS, your local comic shops, could not be open, could not sell physical copies of comics. Diamond publishing being shut down. There's even more going on with that. Because all this is happening. But Comic Hub came up with a plan. And the plan was to allow customers to order comics through Comic Hub, which is like a digital. It's the same. It's the same distribution that retailers use. To let people purchase comics online. Now, but you still go through the retailer. The retailer still gets a little something out of that. Now, what wound up happening was the idea was for Comics Hub to sell you, the reader, a digital copy of the comic, and basically your local comic shop would keep a physical copy on hand for you once all this wraps up. The LCS would get the money. Would you be able to get some money for this, and also it would keep by proxy publisher get their money, and by proxy Comics Hub would get money, and then of course you, the gentle reader and gentle listener and watcher at this point, would get a comic. You'd still be able to get your stuff. Marvel, DC, Image, Boom Studios, Aftershock, Dark Horse, Valiant, everybody, Dynamite, everybody would be able to continue business as usual, release comics as usual. But we know that is not going to be the case. You see, what kind of happened was when this story dropped, and the reason why I didn't really talk about it you didn't really see me talking about it on social media. You didn't really see me talk about it on really anywhere. Because, well, for one, the story broke on April Fool's Day. And let's be fair, anything that comes out on April Fool's Day is something like I always feel bad for reputable stories, like people breaking reputable stories on April 1st, because no one's going to believe you. That's the time when dumb shit just happens. People put out the dumbest stuff. And this year, I gotta admit, I was kind of proud of us. The stupidity actually was kept to a bare minimum this year. And I don't know if I feel like it was kind of like a silent, like a silent, hey, let's cease fire. Let's cease fire on this shit. Like, some people still did jokes, but it was stuff that was obviously fake. It was obviously fake. There was no danger of anyone suspecting that it was real. Now, with that being said, we all know what's going on with Diamond right now. Diamond is 100,000% shut down. There is no, Diamond is not taking new comics. They're not shipping any comics. Matter of fact, to the point, they have had to halt payments to comic book publishers as a result of all this, because they're not able to ship anything. They're not able to receive anything. They obviously can't make any money, so they can't pay Marvel, DC, so on and so forth. That's not even just Marvel and DC, but I think a lot of people don't realize how much stuff Diamond ships. Diamond doesn't just ship comics. They ship games. They ship collectibles, action figures. They're not shipping anything right now. So they're not paying anyone right now. It just is what it is. And to kind of push the narrative home a little bit, this is actually a letter that came from the Jeppy family, which is the parent company of Diamond. And here, let's see if we can get this to pull up here. Booyah, I love it when a plan comes together. Okay, so it says, Dear Diamond Vendor, as the world responds to the outbreak of that who shall not be named, our focus, and I'm not naming it because, apparently YouTube really cracks down on my videos that where it is said. So there you go. We're not saying it. Anyway, our focus is on protecting employees, understanding the risk to our business, evaluating the risk to our industry, and examining the federal government resources available. While the full impact of this epidemic is still unknown, one thing is certain. Supply chain disruptions have cash flow implications across the extended industry that can't be underestimated. While we work to understand the current industry landscape, the unfortunate truth is that we are no longer receiving consistent payments from our customers. This requires that at this time we hold payments to vendors previously scheduled to release this week. This is a difficult decision and not one we make lightly. As this situation continues to evolve, we are committed to building out a plan for payment and will have more information to share later this week. Thank you for your patience and understanding during these difficult times. And this is Stan Heidman, who is president of Jeppy Family Enterprises. Now, that said, that's big. That's actually kind of a big deal, y'all. This isn't something that just happens every day. This is a big deal. It's been towards the beginning of March. They had already made the announcement. Technically, it was more like mid to early March. They made the announcement they were halting shipments. And now they're saying, no, we're halting payments. So, I mean, it's just one of those things. It's a natural byproduct of that. They don't ship anything. They can't really pay anything because they're not getting money in the first place, which that makes sense. But yeah, man, it's wild. And not only that, the whole thing was with Comics Hub is that initially Marvel and DC seemed like they were on board with the whole plan. Like originally, Marvel and DC kind of sounded like they wanted to play ball with Comics Hub and be like, hey, let's make this a thing. But Marvel and DC, what eventually wound up happening was they decided both to not release any comics. They were already not releasing any comics physically. But I think what was the bigger statement was that they were not going to release any comics digitally. So any comics that were going to come out, they weren't releasing them. If they couldn't sell them physically, they weren't going to release them digitally. Now, DC had a little bit of an interesting thing going on because they had digital exclusives and comics that were digital first. So those released as normal. But there was only I think maybe one or two titles, if that. I think one of them was a Batman book that I don't even know if anybody's reading. Or maybe they are now because I don't have anything else to read. But the whole idea is just that, right now these are interesting times. And the things that you take for granted, the things that you don't think about, that could be a major impactor. On your day-to-day it's becoming a thing. I don't think a lot of people realized when all this started that it would go the way it did. That things would happen quite the way they did. And yeah, it sucks. A lot of people, you may have noticed that this past week, I didn't, because there were no new comics, I didn't do any videos on new comic. I released a video that I've been working on for a while on some comics that came out a little while ago. Of course, starting this coming week, minus maybe one video, I'm actually going to be going back and doing some other comics and just stuff. Just to, I don't know, pass the time. I mean, it actually is giving me a lot of time to catch up on stuff I haven't read. Whether it's recent stuff, old stuff, whatever. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, that means all your comic events are pushed back. All comic events are pushed back. That means 10 of Swords, push back. That means Empire, push back. That means that not just those events, but all of DC's plans, whatever they may be, are pushed back as well. Oh yeah, Darkest, I just call it that fucking bitch Carol Baskin. That's what we'll call it. That fucking bitch Carol Baskin. God damn it. I gotta admit, I'm having a hard time even doing that though, because I don't know if any of y'all, I'm sure everyone in the world now has watched Tiger King. But apparently Joe Exotic, I mean, amongst a laundry list of other problematic things that are going on with him, like the one positive in him is that apparently he has dropped his feud with Carol Baskin. But, man, does take the sting out of it a little bit. But, hey, you never know. You never know. You never know. Hey, Deku Venom rolling in here. I see you. What's going on? What's going on, Reggie Simmons? I see you dropping in. King Jigga, what's going on? Thank you for that. Thank you for that, man. Best wishes to you as well. So, yeah. No, hey, oh, you haven't finished Tiger King? I apologize. Well, this has nothing to do with the documentary itself. But yeah, the actual the caught up, because I won't say any more than that. But basically, the fallout of Tiger King is well over I think it's almost 2 years old. The fallout of it happened about 2 years ago, so it's still relatively recent, but yeah. Okay, so real quick, because I got some stuff here that, I actually meant to, I apologize. I got some stuff that I actually meant to send to myself to have her on the show, because we're going to be having a guest come on here very shortly, and I kind of wanted to have some work that they had done. I kind of wanted to have it ready so we could show it off on le stream. But we'll that part's not nothing to worry about. We actually will get that together here very shortly. Just have to, move a thing around, transfer a thing, that whole deal. But, yeah, cancel 2020. Yeah, but like I said, nobody say anything else about Tiger King. We'll at least not about the show itself. But yeah, okay. Yeah, we are, 2020 is officially canceled as a whole. 2020 canceled. It's done. It's a wrap. We're not doing it anymore. It's not a thing. Oh, Lord, AF. God damn, I said don't say anything. Okay, anyway. Yeah, another thing, too, just kind of let y'all know about what's going on behind the scenes here at the Blerd Cave. Okay, full disclosure. I typically work on videos roughly every day. Whether it's me reading, whether it's me recording audio, video, whether it's curating images, whether it's what's the word am I looking for here? Editing said videos. So yeah, I'm always working on a video in some degree, shape, form, or fashion throughout the week. But this week is actually, I've not been doing as much. Not because I don't have the time, but because I've just been doing other stuff to take my mind off the normal, whatever is going on in the outside world. So I have been playing Resident Evil 3 Nemesis a lot. I've been playing a lot of other video games. Those of you follow me on Twitch, you've seen I've been playing Persona 5, The Royal. I've been playing, I haven't started playing Resident Evil on the newest one, the remake of the newest remake on Twitch. I haven't done that yet. I've just been playing it off stream just because I've just been really wanting to play it. And I've been playing a lot of Killing Floor 2 and various and sundry other games. So I've just been, and I've been reading comics too. I've been more for fun than for work. But don't worry, don't fear, never fear. It's going, things are still moving on. It's just that I may be a little behind. That's the only thing I'm going to kind of say towards that. The remake is great. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot. You're all good, AF. You're all good, AF. You're all good. But yeah, no, it's been good. It's been good. I've been enjoying it. I've been having a great time with it. It's been fun, fantastic. And yeah, Nemesis is. I will say this. The day the demo came out, I did play the demo on stream over at twitch.tv/Blerd Without Fear. I did play the demo, and during the demo, it took me a while to get used to it, but I know that when word got out that, like, your timing for your dodge roll in the game was basically kind of on the same vein as Bloodborne, that actually did make it way easier for me to get away from Nemesis. So Nemesis has become more of a minor nuisance to me. More so than an actual, like he's still freakishly terrifying. But yeah, who knows? When am I gonna? The real question is, when am I gonna hop on that Tekken with Deku? You know what? Depending on what's going on today, I might hop on whatever Deku's doing. I may hop on Tekken with him today or tomorrow. I'm gonna get my ass beat. I'm just going to say it right now. I am not a Tekken person by any stretch of the imagination. I haven't regularly played a Tekken game since Tekken 4. And this is what, Tekken 7? Yeah. I've not been playing the Division 2. I didn't even play the first one. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a big fan of the Division. Like, I didn't like the first one, and I saw stuff on the second one and during E3 of last year, which is not happening this year. But E3 last year, I remember seeing videos on it, and I remember, like, all the response, like, the people they had that were playing the game, they were clearly actors, and I was just like, yeah, no, I'm good. Looks like more The Division. I'm good. But yes. Let's see here. Oh shit, Deku, he heard what I said. Do I play any Warzone? No, I actually haven't touched COD. I haven't touched Call of Duty since maybe a couple of months after it came out. I may go back and try. There've been a lot of my friends have been asking me to play it. It does have crossplay. I primarily play games on PC. I only play PlayStation when it's an exclusive title, and if it's an Xbox exclusive title, well, they're on PC, so there you go. But yeah, I'm more of an RPG person. I'm not really a big shooter person, which, if you've been watching me play on Twitch lately, would probably not seem like the case. Consider I've been playing a lot of Killing Floor 2. I've been playing a lot of Doom Eternal, which I love those games. I love shooters. I don't like military shooters, is probably the more accurate way to put it. I'm just like, ugh, it's military. I'm good. And I don't like, I don't really care for, I don't really care for a lot of, I don't do MOBAs. Because I just don't understand them. I don't get them. I did recently play a little bit of Fortnite. Did do that. And I actually discovered I don't hate that game as much as I thought I did. Apparently, if you play it with friends, it's actually not bad. What's going on, Dan the Man? What's going on? We are just talking some ish as I get ready to bring our guest. I guess, you know what? I should probably set this up. How about that? I should probably set this up a little bit. Here, let's get our image. Okay, so I had the pleasure of talking with a gentleman by the name of Antoine Mitchell, who reached out to me a ways back. Here, let me see. Let me make sure he's ready. There we go. Yeah, I had the pleasure. I had the pleasure of talking with this gentleman, and he is a indie comics creator. He's an artist. He's a writer. He's an inker. He pretty much does everything. He actually has made me rethink how I have always made excuses for making my comic, because it's one of those situations where I'd have to write it, I'd have to draw it, I'd have to ink it, all this other stuff. He has made me rethink and reevaluate my hustle. And I am probably going to butcher the name to this because that's just what I do. But it's matter of fact, I have, where did it go? Was behind me. Where did I set? I actually had them right here. Oh. Did I? Poopy water. Somehow or some way, I've set them somewhere, and now I don't remember where I've set. Oh, they're behind me. Uno momento. Okay, so, but yeah, he sent me some of the comics, and I was like, oh wow, cool. Like this is something he came out with. This just this past year. And so he sent me one of these, and I was like, oh, wow, this is actually pretty awesome. He also sent me, this is a kind of a preview of his second issue that he's got coming up. And let's see here. He actually sent me some artwork. He actually sent me some, actually, you know what? I want you to see just to kind of show what kind of work this guy is kind of putting into all this, just so you can kind of see here. Let's go to here. Let's pull this up. Go to my inbox. Not gonna show you my inbox, but you know what I mean. Let's see here. Do I still have I think I still have that picture in here. Yup. And here, can I kick it? Let me see if it'll let me. I don't know if it'll actually let me save this. It might come out as a really crappy resolution. That's actually not bad. That's actually better than I thought it was going to be. It's not exactly what I wanted, but close enough to kind of give you guys an idea of just what we're looking at here. But here, let's show you the pencils. So this guy's pencil work, real quick. Boom. Yeah, this is just his, this is just pencils, man. Just straight up pencils. And then what he did was he showed me a little bit of what he's been working on. And here you go. And this is what it eventually led to. But yeah, I thought it was really cool. I was like, dude, it was interesting. Just it was different. It wasn't same old that I see all the time. Thought it was really cool, and I was also really impressed, just by the level of detail and work in it, just in and of itself. But one of, actually, matter of fact, here, let's see. But yeah, basically, we are going to go ahead and bring him on here. Let me see if I can get this brother. See if we can get him on the Skizipes. Can we get him on the Skizipes, y'all? Let's see. Contacts. Here we go. There. Let's see if we get him. Let's see what we got. Hey, you there? Here, wait, hold. Let me get you some volume here. Hold up. Here, let's get you some volume. Here, you say what? There we go. All right, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you coming through. You're coming through. Here, actually, let me give you a little extra boost. I know. Here we go. There we are. All right, we're in business. Okay, so here, all right, we got you in here. Get rid of that. We don't need that. All right, so Mr. Antoine Ghost Mitchell, what's going on?
What's cracking, man? It's an honor to be on your show, man.
Hey, I appreciate you coming in. Like I said, you had reached out to me. God, it was was it late last year or early this year?
Might have been late last year or early this year, I believe.
And I mean, me, anyone who's ever private messaged me on anything knows that I suck at social media and I don't check it as regularly as I probably should. But one of but it just so happened, like, I think during like the holidays, I actually took the time to actually go look. And I saw you send me a message. You were talking to me about the comic that you had created yourself, from top to bottom, and it grabbed my attention. And I know I'm going to butcher the name because I do with everything else. But it's called Sankofa's Embrace.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it right the first time. There you go. But now, Sankofa's Embrace. You sent me the first issue, which, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I showed y'all a little minute ago, but this is it right here. Sankofa's Embrace #1, right there, one time for your mind. And you also sent me this preview that I was showing for the second issue.
Right.
And now this, tell us a little bit about Sankofa's Embrace.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, basically, as far as the story, thousands of years after the Great Shattering, the Urugu moon appeared over the skies of imbalance and signaled the prophecy of a coming battle between balance and disorder that would dictate the final fate of the world. And representing that balance are the Sankofa children, whom are the Mayat child, who's the embodiment of creation and order, and the Urugu child, who's the vessel for destruction and chaos. However, the Sankofa children haven't been seen for thousands of years, and only a few people know who they were. And then the story basically centers around two main characters, or I call them party members. I'm a big RPG fan.
That was one of the first things I picked up on, by the way.
Oh man, the what led to this creation is a certain RPG that we all know and love. Basically, we have Abel Ani, who is my thief, very naive, and he's a very fun character. And then we have Asada Mwakozi. Asada, she's what I call the chosen one, quote unquote, who is supposed to find this item, the Urugu feather, to take to the Mayat child who's been asleep. So a voice speaks to her and tells her to find the thief, and of course Abel is the thief. So just like any epic fantasy, you have groups of characters from different walks of life joining together for an epic quest with their own wants and needs. The biggest thing is Sankofa. Sankofa is a West African term that
Mm-hmm.
means go back and fetch it or remember the past. So in this story, each character is either looking for something that they lost, or they're trying to remember something that they've forgotten, or they're looking for something that they didn't even know that they were looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So all those different elements goes into this Afro, quote unquote, Afro fantasy.
Got you. Got you. Which, by the way, I thought was really interesting because we don't really get to see a lot of we've always had the terms like Afrofuturism,
Right.
kind of like black sci-fi, but like really like I feel like the like one of the untapped areas is black fantasy, like
Hmm.
Afro fantasy,
Right.
because I don't know I don't know if it's because um culturally we just don't see ourselves in those same positions as
Man.
like what you see like sci-fi characters,
Right.
fantasy characters, stuff like that. We don't see ourselves in that or not. I don't know if that's the case, um, but yeah, I feel like that's an area that like why not? Why are we not doing why are we not
Well,
doing that?
well, man, I grew up. I mean, I live in Baton Rouge, but I grew up in a little country, one of those little small country towns,
Mm-hmm.
with a grandmother who loved plants, and so around our house, it always looked like something majestic. And
Mm-hmm.
then merge that with my older cousin playing like The Legend of Zelda, and then seeing some of those early sword and sorcery movies,
Mm-hmm.
not to mention the cartoons like Thundercats and He-Man.
Mm-hmm.
So I would always go around my house, around my grandmama's house, just imagining, that I was on some type of epic quest. So although by the time I started collecting comic books, fantasy kind of shifted to the background, or I didn't even, that's one of those things I didn't know I loved.
Right.
But then after discovering Final Fantasy and beating Final Fantasy 8, that's
Mm-hmm.
when I realized, especially from the reaction I got from that ending, crying actually, um, I know that I wanted to do a fantasy. And at that point, it wasn't anything African about it. It was just a sword and sorcery, westernized fantasy with sci-fi elements. Basically, I wanted to do my own Final Fantasy. I basically went from wanting to do my own X-Men comic
Mm-hmm.
to a fantasy comic.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Like now for me, kind of growing up, I think kind of similar backgrounds. I grew up with a lot of sci-fi fantasy in my
Yeah,
household.
yeah.
We grew up on the same stuff. I grew up on Thundercats, He-Man.
Hmm.
Eventually, kind of, and as time went on, even more. Like I used to watch the old Dungeons and Dragons
Yeah, yeah.
cartoon. Actually, and most people don't know this, but I actually have that cartoon. I still have it
Man,
on.
I
I have it on
remember it.
DVD. But it doesn't hold up well. But yeah, it's just one of those things. It's nice to be able to say like, hey, I have it right here. It's there. But
Right.
I grew up on a lot of stuff like that. Eventually, like stuff like Pirates of Dark Water.
Mm.
Like I love a good fantasy story. Of course, just like you, Final Fantasy was one of those game series that just kind of like grabbed me and just grabbed my attention.
Yeah, yeah.
And like I said, like when I was going through the comic when you sent it to me, I was reading it, and that was actually one of the things I was like, yeah, I was like, like instantaneously, I kind of had a point of reference,
Yeah.
like just an automatic jumping off point because when I was reading it, I was like, oh wow, I was like, it's got it's got everything that I would expect to want from like a fantasy style story.
Yeah.
And not just like a fantasy style story, but like because Final Fantasy always kind of has a weird way of blending like
Yeah.
fantasy and sci-fi and like like steampunk, yeah, like it just futurism and stuff like that. So, and I was like, wow, this is like the perfect. It's that perfect blend of all of that you typically only see in stuff like Final Fantasy, but it had faces that were recognizable, to me as a person. Just like I say, oh wow, these are I'm seeing black and brown faces on stuff where I normally see anime characters that don't look anything like me. But I thought it was really awesome. And like I said, just it was really cool just to see like basically we kind of know like the background on how like you like what kind of inspired you to get to this point, but like what exactly kind of where was that switch point? Like you say, 'cause you talked about earlier about you went from wanting to make your own X-Men to wanting to make your own like Final Fantasy. What was that? What was the spark? Well, we know the spark was like Final Fantasy, of course, but what really got Sankofa's Embrace kicked off?
Man, that is a wonderful. That's a great question. I mean, like I said before, man, I grew up basically during a time even before the internet got popular.
Right.
So, and I grew up like the comic book store was like I'm gonna say maybe 50, 60 miles away. So I used to order my comic books from I forgot the name of the company, but that's how I stayed up on it. And so all I knew was that, I'm still a big X-Men fan to this day. And then but every comic book I would create or try to create, it would be Eurocentric because that's all I knew. So, man, I graduated from high school, went to the Art Institute of Houston. But when I came back home and enrolled at Southern University in Baton Rouge, that's when I started learning more about African art, African spirituality and folklores, and just the art of basically people of color around the world, Asian art, and all of that played this slow role in switching me to becoming more aware. A lot of it became with the so-called quote unquote knowledge of self. Basically, I went through the Black militant phase. But what that did is it made me very passionate about anything related to an African worldview. And then started learning more about West African culture, in particular the Yoruba culture with the different deities and what have you. So, and then I don't know. After that, I kept going back to this fantasy because in 1999, we backtrack a little bit. After beating Final Fantasy VIII and crying, I cried.
Oh no! Hey, look, I can't say anything, so I can't pass any judgment on you without passing any judgment on myself. So, look, let me. I'm not even gonna shade you for that one.
So I ordered to just create a fantasy, and then, like I said, it was just westernized. The main character may have been quote unquote black, and it became just this story called Embrace, and I spelled it IYMBRACE. And then over time, I would develop it, work on it more, and then it was like when I met the woman who would become my wife queen. That was around the time that I started learning more started watching different films. Sankofa. There's a film called Sankofa by this indie director, Holly Jarama. I might be butchering his name, but it came out like in 1995. And I was taking this class at Southern called, it was a black psychology class. And one of the snippets of the videos that he showed was Sankofa. And when I finally got my hands on it, it's basically it has everything like from the day in the life of a plantation to the slave rebellions. But they had this one lady. She starts off in the beginning of the movie as a model, and she's at one of the doorways of no return. I believe it was at Gory Island, if I'm not mistaken. And she gets taken. Something happens. She's walking through it. She gets overwhelmed, and she's taken back to the past. And then the movie pretty much goes on from there. But just the power and the emotion in that movie, I wanted to do something with that. And then, of course, I was one day just with my wife, who was my fiance at the time, and she was like, I was trying to think of what to call it. I knew I wanted to put Sankofa in this title. And she was like, call it Sankofa's Embrace. And then from there, it just started to grow more and more. And this was back in 2005. So
okay, so this has been a minute.
Yes, 19 years in the making. Yes. So now, after meeting her and so many other people, including the woman who officiated our wedding, she's a Yoruba priestess. I learned a lot of different things about Yoruba culture from her. So this comic book, if you hadn't noticed already, it is a sort of tribute not just to African culture and Black culture, it's also a tribute to Final Fantasy. Because one thing that I borrowed from Final Fantasy is the use of summons. And my favorite page that I actually cried when I saw it in person and felt it when we got them in the mail, she's summoning what I use Orishas. And one of the things that Final Fantasy did for me is more than just the looks of their summons, but the names of a lot of their summons. Even if the name doesn't necessarily match the deity that they got it from, I imagine I'm sitting in the classroom, world history class, and all of a sudden the name Shiva pops up, or Odin or something like that, and I'm remembering, man, I just summoned Shiva last night in Final Fantasy. It clicked something inside of me to want to learn more about that culture. So I'm doing that in such a way with the Orishas, but without exploiting Yoruba culture. I'm using like certain elements from it, but not to exploit it, because I'm no expert in Yoruba culture. I have a love for all these cultures that I'm using, even outside of a lot of different African cultures, a lot of Middle Eastern influences. My art style, the way I color, is actually influenced by the Baroque style, which came after the Renaissance. I love the dramatic lighting and darkness. I don't know if you've ever watched Black Sails.
Yes.
I love that
God,
show. It's
yeah.
like very, very, very brutal prequel to Treasure Island.
And I love the shit out of that show.
Yeah. Kermit would not last in this movie.
No.
But one of the things I love most about Black Sails, I call it one of my textbooks, just like Full Metal Alchemist is one of my textbooks. The lighting. It's like whomever is over the art direction of that show, it's like they tried to use as much natural lighting as they could, but it also, I would not be surprised if they sat down and opened up a big art book about Baroque painting, about the Baroque period, because a lot of chiaroscuro goes into this show. And I'm trying to use that same technique merged with a lot of these African elements in this book. I'm a big thing on hybrids and what have you. So I love trying to use existing things to create something organic.
Now, that's something that, like I said, once again, I can appreciate, because like being a creative myself, but just having no time to do anything. I have all the time in the world now. But one of the things I really appreciate about this is that, like, you do everything in this. Like, you write the book, you pencil it, you ink it, you do everything. So I gotta ask, like, what is that like? Because I know, I think a lot of times we as I kind of feel like as far as comics fans, we tend to take for granted that like what goes into making a comic.
Right.
We don't take into account what all like the level of work, like, you know,
Right.
how much work does it take to draw it? How much work does it take to write it? How much effort actually has to go into the actual like creation of a thing? So yeah, that's one of those. I was curious if you could give some insight, like on like what is your process overall?
Man, that another great question from you, man. And there's a lot of social elements that actually went into me creating this comic book like that. Yeah, but you hit the nail on the head. A lot of us take for granted a lot of the work that goes into these comics, man. This art form that we get and pay for. Man, we the level of organization that goes into creating a comic book, man. After we finally finished Sankofa's Embrace, I have a whole new appreciation for it. That's one of the reasons I can't even tolerate, like, when people like rip an artist or a writer to shreds for a comic. You know, I can't even get into that energy because I knew it still had a lot of work that goes in it. But a lot of it with us with Sankofa's Embrace. Yeah, I am the creator of it. Wrote it, penciled it. I don't do inking. That's that, and there's a lot of reasons. We can talk about that in a little while. Color it. I do the lettering. I'm trying to get better with my lettering. But my wife, Queen, she's my editor, my honesty, and she's actually created a few elements of Sankofa's Embrace that I can't wait to use. And a lot of it has to do with money, as far as like I usually get asked the question, man, why don't you get a team? Why don't you get a team? Well, this is our first creation, so the best thing for us right now is to keep everything in house. It's cheaper that way. Plus, if anything were to go wrong, knock on wood, because nothing's gonna go wrong. It's gonna be a learning experience. The only ones we can hold accountable is ourselves, if it goes right or if it goes wrong. But I've been doing this for so long, ever since I was 11. Ever since I even kind of arguably before then. I've always been trying to create my own comic book. I would, draw it and color it with color pencils. And when I got older and learned how to use Adobe Photoshop and finally learned how they separated the black lines from the color, it's just something that just grew in me. So it's safer that way for me. To do all the work, and I think I know what I want. Now I do look forward to one day passing some of that work off to somebody, like if they can color it in a style that I like, or a style that I was trying to achieve but just couldn't, and they can do it. Whenever we get financially able to do that, I would love passing it off and just focus on writing and pencils. But for right now, it takes a while, but as I tell everybody, you may see one person doing it, but there's 5 of us up here in my head. So, we've had a few, board meetings where, there was some firings and rehirings and damn near mutinies, but we made it.
Now, one question I did have, now, because I also saw it just come up here in the chat. Where can people pick up your comic?
Yeah. Right now, I'm only doing orders. I mean, that's the only way. I'm not in a comic book store yet. And I'm still trying to get that whole diamond distribution barcode thing going on. But they can order it directly from from me from the website www.sankofas.com. That's SANKOFASEYMBRACE.com. And they can order issue 1. They can pre-order issue 2, which I'm finishing up. Thank you for showing that graphic too that I sent. I'm so happy with that page, man. But yeah, they can go directly to the website. They can even still get this actually the preview of issue 2. I still have some Wizard World exclusive previews left. They were very limited. They were like only either 50 or I think either 25 or 50. I can't remember the exact number, but Wizard World, just like with issue 1 last year, here in New Orleans, they gave us the permission to use their logo. So I was able to offer, we were able to offer Sankofa's Embrace #1, a preview of it, a 10-page black and white preview at Wizard World. And we actually ended up selling out of those previews. We didn't sell out of the issue 2 previews, but people have been buying them. So if you wanted to get one of these limited edition Wizard World previews, yeah, you can get those from the website too while supplies last.
Okay, so now one more thing too for and then I'm gonna let you go. I wanted to give people opportunity just if they had any questions. I wanted to see if we had any questions to chat about. If you are whether you are just a person who's a fan of comics or you are somebody who is wanting to get into comics. I want to see if the chat had any questions for Antoine. Let me see. I'm gonna bring. Let me see. I think I have it set up where I can bring us both up here. Let's see. Booyah! That's what I'm talking about.
Huge fan of X-Men. That's what drove me to your videos at first, man. The X-Men videos, bro. I'm loving what's going on right now. It's yeah. You talk about the shirt that I'm wearing is from my favorite.
Yeah, dude, that's the X-Men #1 right there. That look that's as far as I'm concerned, that's the golden age. I know it's not officially the golden age, but for me it's the golden age because I think I bought that issue. I think I bought that issue and that graphic novel.
Yeah.
God, I think I probably put Jim Lee and Chris Claremont's entire family through college. As many times I bought that graphic novel because I used to always get it, and I would meet people who weren't reading comics. I'd be like, dude, just take it, just take the damn comic, man. Just enhance your life in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Let's see here. Says Reggie Simmons says, "Were they still shipping the book during the stay and shelter orders?" Let's see. Is that a question for me, or I guess more a question for you?
That's a great question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as long as the post office is open and we're taking like very extra steps and making sure we're as clean as possible. Putting on gloves, just making sure we're doing everything that we can before we mail them out. I still urge people though, when you receive them in the mail, still follow those proper procedures where you spraying it with Lysol or whatever, cleaning it as much as you can. And I ship the comics too, and not just because of the situation. I ship the comics polybagged. I bag them, board them. Quality is a big thing. I mean, with the comic book itself, we had a hint of the type of quality we were getting when we got the issue #1 previews of Sankofa's Embrace from Greco Printing, which is an awesome printing company. Comics Wellspring, that's who it is. Greco is their parent company. But when we got the actual first issue in, and my wife sent me a text at work. She was like, "They ain't ready, and hell, you ain't ready." I was like, "Oh, okay." So when I got home, I saw the box. I sat down. I was doing like everything other than opening the package. So when I finally sat down and opened the book, when I took it, I'm like, damn, this is heavy. Like, this is 32 pages. This shit feels like a damn double-sized issue.
Oh
So,
yeah,
okay.
it's like, just so y'all, because I'm holding up just so y'all kind of see what I'm talking about here. Look, that's
When I opened that cover and I felt that first page, I was like, damn. And I just kept flipping through, and when I got to that spread page of page 16 and 17, I damn near cried. I cried. I actually cried. So you're getting quality. And even though issue number 2 is coming out like a year later, we're trying to still stick to a 3 to 6 month release. I didn't realize how exhausted I was after finishing issue 1, because it took 19 years to build up to that. And then, of course, I'm also a freelance artist, a traditional artist as well. I do art commissions, like with my traditional art. Not to mention I work a 9 to 5. So all of that, the stresses of that, it really knocked me back. But after we're done with issue 2, we are going to do, we're trying to stick to a 3 to 6 month window. And at first I was like, maybe we'll release issue 2 with the lower quality cover. And my wife was pretty much like, hell no. So, hey, majority rules. So, we're trying to give people not only quality in the way that it feels each time they get a new issue. I'm trying to do that with the art as well. I'm telling you now, and one of the reasons I sent you that page, issue 2, issue 1 has nothing on issue 2, and it's just a continuation of the story. With each issue, especially since we're giving ourselves a 3 to 6 month window, I want people to see the quality that went into that each time, building up to it. So you're getting quality. I don't usually toot my own horn, but I have to in this situation. You're getting quality. But we're going to do everything that we can to be safe as possible when we're bagging them up and everything. Just please stay safe and wash your hands and take those extra precautions when you receive it, just to stay safe. Because, as long as they're still printing the books, last time I checked, Greco is still running. As long as it's still printing the books, we're going to take the precautions when we get them in the mail. And when we send them, we're urging y'all to take precautions as well.
Now, I see we got another question here. This one is from Approach the Nerd. They said, and I'm gonna fuck this name up. So, do you have a character equivalent of Mami Wata?
I'm not familiar who Mami Wata is. I'm just assume that that's either a deity from an African culture or, so I don't want to sit here and say like I know that, but I will say this.
A mermaid deity. An African mermaid deity.
Good. Okay.
I had to look it up.
Thank you. Actually, Oshun. Oshun is often predicted as a mermaid. Oshun is a West African deity, a Yoruba deity of fresh water and beauty and what have you. Matter of fact, when you buy Sankofa's Embrace, on page 16 and 17, you will see an equivalent.
Okay. Now, wait, we got some more coming in here. Let's see here. This is from King Jigga. Says, would you ever sell your comics online digitally? Wouldn't it be easier for you to control?
Man, that is, that word digital has been popping up a whole lot. But, and it's crazy because I considered it a long time ago, but after hearing about how people can hack digital comics, it's something that I kind of put on the back burner. It's something I'm thinking a little bit more about now with everything going on, just in case printing has to halt. Um, that's something I'm considering, but still not at the moment. And right now, I mean, we control everything, other than we don't print it.
Right.
Somebody else does the printing. And that's another reason why we're pretty much doing everything ourselves, just to be on the safe side. Um, but when you look at Sankofa's Embrace, we want people to think, man, that's a whole operation going on, because technically it is. We're not just doing the job of 5 people. We're actually doing even more than that. My wife, Queen, she prints out the labels and bags them and boards them and what have you. She does most of that, especially at the very beginning when we had a flood of orders. She did all of that. She would even get mad at me for even doing it. So we're doing the jobs of so many people. But yeah, it's worth it right now. Digital though is something that I'm gonna have to research even more, to see what, if anything, to see what type of protection there is.
Right.
Because I'm not Disney in these streets, and I don't have any type of kickback like they do.
Now, I got another one here. Let's see. This is Ebony Avenger Stevenson.
Yeah.
He says, this is a great interview. I'm also trying to do a comic. So my question is, what would you consider your biggest mistake, if any, with issue 1?
Wow, I love it. And first of all, man, just keep going. Good luck. Keep creating that comic book. I have so much love, especially now, especially love for indie creators. Some of the panels, I can tell you this much: when you receive issue 2, you're gonna see that I didn't try to put so many panels on the page. That's one thing that I'm trying not to do, is put so many panels on a page to where the art can breathe, and I don't have to overload it with so much text. Now, I want to kind of add on to that, as far as one of the hardest things is, and I think this had a lot to do with me actually starting it, is the relationship between the writer and the penciler. I used to always wonder, did the writer write the story first and send to the penciler, and or did the writer write a draft? And all of those they did. But the question I had is, what if you're doing it yourself? Or one of those questions: what comes first, the chicken or the egg? So I actually went back to my old tactics of, like, I used to draw and write as I go. So I went back to that tactic, not to create it, but to at least do the thumbnailing and what have you. So now when I'm writing, I not only when I'm writing a page out, I do thumbnails first, and that'll help me go back and edit my writing and decide how many pages, and I can shift it down to my 32-page or structure. So that was one of the big obstacles, just trying to find that relationship, and they've so far merged together pretty good now. But to answer her question again, yeah, not putting so many panels on a page unless it's deliberate.
Now, this is another one. This one's coming from Naiway. It says, question for guest: how do you balance 9 to 5 family life and still keep that creativity bug?
Woo! Embracing the fact that I have multiple personalities? No, but for real, I think I'm a little more blessed than a lot of artists that I know, as far as on the emotional side, because it could be bad. I have a wife, Queen, that definitely understands and appreciates art in period. Um, and although I started creating Sankofa's Embrace long before I knew her, um, it's just as much as her story as mine. So she's invested in it, not just as a business partner, not just as a wife, but as someone who believes in the vision. So that helps when I'm at work at my 9 to 5, and I'm blessed to have a job where I'm only working like 5 to 2, 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. In the afternoon, and off on weekends. Um, when I get home, it's an easier transition to spend time with her, and she understands when I have to go to the next room and get on the drafting board and do my penciling. But even with that, I mean, I find all kinds of creative ways. I mean, before everything shut down, if I'm not working on a spread page and it's on a page where there's not much wide perspective that I have to use, I'll bring my 11 by 17 inch board with us whenever we go out somewhere, and I have room to draw. Um, like if we go, if we go to a casino or something like that, I'm known as the guy who draws a lot. I'll sit beside her, and well, she'll say both of us can't be stupid, but I'll sit beside her, and if I'm not reading a comic book that I just bought on New Comic Book Day, I'm sitting there, and if I'm not sketching one of my characters or something, I'm sitting there with my 11 by 17 inch pad, working on a page as much as I can. Or if I have my laptop and she's out, I'll go sit off somewhere and plug my laptop up and work on coloring the page. Or if we're in the bedroom, I will sit in the bedroom and either draw a page or work on my laptop, just so I just feel like I'm not taking time away from her. It's hard, and that's just the comic book and working my 9 to 5. I'm not talking about my other real job when doing art commissions for folks. But ever since finishing issue 1 of Sankofa's Embrace, I've actually changed out some of the work. Like, I don't do book illustrations for other people anymore, unless it's like a cover illustration. Commissions that would take a long time, I charge more for. And this is also to minimize the work and to balance everything out so I can devote time into Sankofa's Embrace, because this is a different monster. Now I got people invested in it who are buying it, so I want to still provide them with the best quality possible. Meaning, what comes with that quality is being consistent. You know, I'm trying to be as consistent as an indie artist can be. It's a lot that I'm learning, but hey,
Well, I mean, yeah, like I said, it's we all kind of start off. We all start off at the same place. Creatively in this, this whole kind of comic industry. We all kind of come off the same line, and I mean, I think just based on just the beginning, just off the first lap alone, I think you're doing pretty good.
oh, man. And I put a few tropes, in Sankofa's Embrace that only some people gonna get. Like, when you, like you said, open up that first page, and then I think some people will pick that up. I'm even with some of the designs and the backgrounds. Not only am I taking from like a lot of influences, like for instance the Hodari slums. I would just look at different photos from like Rio de Janeiro, or Rio de Grande, I think. I just look at pictures of different slums in different countries, especially slums that are like built on mountains and what have you, or hills. I wanted to try some of that, but then I was like, well, dude, we were riding just in Louisiana like we always do, and looking at old shacks, and I'm like, why don't you just use what you know? So when I'm designing those slum buildings, I'm just thinking about shacks that I would see every day. and it just ended up creating something unique. And I want to do that a lot with Sankofa's Embrace. And there's also a world map. I want people to know I have a world map in there. It's real. So, and there's a reason why I didn't put all the locations on the world map. I want people to discover it. I want them to learn about this world just as much as we're learning about this world. So we're journeying together. One of the things I love most about what Hickman is doing with X-Men, especially like with doing Powers of X and House of X, how interactive he made it. There you go. I see my world map.
As soon as you said it, I was like, well, let me get this up here.
I love how interactive he made it. And prior to, Hox and Pox, I was already planning on doing something like that with Sankofa's Embrace. I wanted people to really feel like they're inside the comic. Like, it's a lot of things that I have planned that I can't mention at the moment, but I really want to make Sankofa's Embrace an experience for everybody, not just you're reading a fantasy comic or let me support this brother because he's doing an indie comic. No, I want you to support it because it's quality and you're getting an experience and you're experiencing it right along with me.
Yeah, I'm here for it. Let's see. I think we got one more question here. This is from Alfonso. Says says outside of your own creations, what other characters or properties would you like to work on?
Oh wow. Oh man. If I ever got the chance, it's like I'm drawing a blank. Definitely a lot of different other indie creators I follow. I would love to do some work, maybe with them. If I ever got the free time and chance. Too many to name because I'm drawing a blank. But if any of my indie creators are watching, they know who they are. But it's from a national point of view, I would actually love to do, if I had all the time in the world, I would love to do an X-Men comic. And I think because there's so many characters in Sankofa's Embrace, it's like I'm getting prepped for that one shot one day, just that one shot issue, because I deal with so many characters and personalities. So definitely an X-Men comic. Of course, probably a Black Panther comic. It's actually a cool story I would love to do with Nightcrawler and Daredevil.
Oh, okay.
So it's endless, and of course, I would love to do a Full Metal Alchemist, one shot. Full Metal Alchemist is my textbook. Brotherhood and the manga itself, that's one of my textbooks. And even an Avatar story. So pretty much all the things that I love, I would love to have a shot at.
I could easily see you doing any of those, like just based on just talking to you and reading what you sent me of Sankofa's Embrace. Like I could see you doing any of those.
Oh man, even from a historical concept with some historical stuff, man. Even a very unique Wolverine story.
Oh yeah, dude, I'd be here for it.
Similar to what they did with Captain America Black.
Yes.
It's like the elements are already there for this story. You know,
just do it.
Just do it. As a matter of fact, if I didn't get to write anything else, if Marvel approached me right now and asked me what story would I love to write and illustrate, the same way I do with Sankofa's Embrace with everything, and they gave me just enough time to do it, that would be the story that I would write and do. That a certain type of Wolverine story that's always been on my mind.
Now, Actually, we got. Oh nope, we got. Dude, they're coming in. Okay, so we got a question. This is from my guy Losersaurus.
All right.
He says, "Hey, question for guests: what is your favorite 3 Final Fantasy games and 3 favorite characters?" He's one. That's like wanting you to name your favorite child. Your 3 favorite Final Fantasy games and your 3 favorite characters from the series. And did any influence a specific character that you created?
Hell yeah. My favorite 3 Final Fantasy games, and I'm gonna tell you this: 1 and 2 often switches a lot. So, I'm gonna say Final Fantasy 8 is my number 1 because it plays such a tremendous role in me as far as Sankofa's embrace. 2 is Final Fantasy 10 because that game, that's another one that made me cry. But the reason why 10 moves to 1 a lot, spot 1, I lost my dad in 2018.
Oh,
And
sorry to hear that.
the relationship that Tidus had with Jet, especially not realizing until the end of like how much Jet really, really loved him.
Right.
I tend to watch like Final Fantasy, just like I watch anime or when I'm drawing, I'll watch Final Fantasy X like it's a movie, and that game has a special meaning for me now. I used to cry. I cried at that game too because of the ending with how, spoiler alert, Tidus had to disappear basically. But now it's a relationship between he and Jack that actually gets me now. So Final Fantasy 8. Final Fantasy X, they often swap, but my third one is Final Fantasy 12.
Ooh,
That has,
you know what? I knew you were a man
that
of
has,
culture. I knew you were a
it
man of
has,
culture. Thank you. Put
it
some
has a
respect
little,
on my favorite game.
yeah, it has a little, my reason has a little less to do with the story, although I appreciate the story for its complexity. It's very technical, even down to the way they speak.
It's
A
very
lot of
Game of
thought went into it.
Thrones-ish in terms of the political intrigue.
Yeah, yeah. But I love the world. I love the concept, the design. I just love how open world it was. So those are my 3 favorite Final Fantasy. As far as my 3 favorite characters, my first favorite, Zidane
Okay, that's
from
the main character of Final Fantasy 9.
Yeah, and the reason why, because he's just so lighthearted, funny, outgoing, and a bit of naive. Um, Second would be Squall. You know what? I take that back. My number 1 favorite character, Final Fantasy, is Fran. I love Fran.
Oh, see,
Fran.
once again, I
Yeah.
knew I liked you.
Fran, then Lulu, and Zidane.
I'm
Yeah.
right there with you.
Oh, and
We are on the same page here.
I forgot what the other part of his question was.
Oh, it was what did any of those characters influence any characters you created for
Yes.
Sankofa's Embrace?
In particular, Zidane. Zidane actually influenced Abel's personality, my thief character. And Zidane, I know, is also like a thief as well. But basically, to create my thief, even with this whole fantasy, I pretty much went to every fantasy I love and how they have the different, types of characters. You have the thief, you have the mage, you have the swordsman, and yada yada yada, all of that. So Zidane, even Tidus to a point. Basically, any of those characters, even outside of those video games, like in some movies, like Jack Sparrow, even Young Han from the Solo movie, Young Han Solo. a lot of those played its part in creating that personality of Abel. I'm not as brave as Abel. He may look like me. I use my image, but he is my free spirit, but he is more outgoing than I am. But as far as Final Fantasy goes, that Zidane and Tidus and even Loki from Final Fantasy VI plays a part. So, but it goes beyond Final Fantasy with those characters of mine, though.
I understand. Hey, I can understand it. I gotta just to kind of reiterate though, like I was very surprised when you said Final Fantasy 12 because that was one of those games I feel like is always universally crapped on. But it's actually one of my favorites because I'm a huge Final Fantasy Tactics is my all-time favorite Final Fantasy. So like Final Fantasy 12, I had an instantaneous buy-in point for me. Yeah. And just but yeah, Balthier and Fran, that's my crew. Ride or die. Ride or die. Balthier and Fran.
Best characters of the whole two best characters of that whole game, man.
I know a lot of people hate Vaughn in that game, which I don't blame them. He's not a very good character in terms of like if you like, because basically a lot of people don't even know this, but Final Fantasy 12 was originally about Bosch. It was not about it was not about Vaughn, and they put Vaughn in because teenage girls couldn't relate to Bosch in Japan, but Bosch and Balthier and Fran, those were like your main core characters of that game originally, and then you had to bring in Vaughn and Pinello, which whatever. But if you look at those characters, like you look at like Ash, Bosch, Balthier, Fran, those characters are like your traditional classic Final Fantasy characters. So I always dig that.
I love the use of the anamorphic characters, man. And I didn't even know until recently, really. I think not until recently, like I think as Final Fantasy VII, if I'm not mistaken, that Final Fantasy VII was the first one they started using anamorphic characters, huh?
I believe so. Like, I mean, you had the characters, like, you would have the characters in, like, the background or as, like, NPCs, but, like, you really didn't start... I'm actually trying to think now. Like, I'm actually sitting here trying to go back through, like, the list of Final Fantasy characters.
Yeah, I might be off of 2, I think.
But, I can't remember if 6 had any. I don't know if... I know 1 and 2... I don't think 1 and 2 did.
No, I know 1 and 2 did.
Yeah, they didn't have it. I don't think 3 did either. 4,
I want to say 5. I don't know what 4 may have, huh?
Maybe. That's one of those I'll have to dig into that. I'll have to dig into that one. But
man, 12 had I love the when I'm looking at concept art, because I would, I always buy concept art books, man. Get that Barnes & Noble gift card, hit that 20% whatever discount coupon they get. That's when I get my big art books. And but I love the artwork to Final Fantasy 12. When I'm looking at this concept art, I'm also looking at it from like an art historian point of view, and a person who studies art. And it's like I look at the different cultural aspects that went into creating a lot of the temples, especially like a lot of the dungeons in Final Fantasy 12. And I love the heavy influence on a lot of Indian architecture, like the Paris, which is literally like a Paris. Just the when they first got the Sunstone I think when they went to the Dynast King's castle, even down to the monster you had to fight, the wall or what have you. I love that for the same reason of why I love this book, the art of Final Fantasy IX. I don't think it was by the same artist, but they still had that same.
I want to say they had changed artists roughly about that time.
Yeah. He's one of my I don't know why I can't call the artist's name for 12, but I'm actually interested in him doing another mainstream Final Fantasy. I would not be disappointed if they put him behind the art direction of a Final Fantasy 16 if it should ever come out.
Right. Let's see here. It says, oh, here we got another one. It says, as a black creative, what are things in mainstream comics industry you feel they fail at in regards to characters of color, and what have you learned not to do from DC and Marvel?
Whoo, bro, that's a whole conversation in video in itself.
Yeah, that's what I say. That is something. That is something I know I have talked about in the past, and not just in the past, for a long time, but it could go. That could go a lot of different directions.
Yeah, it's so many inside and outside elements involved in that. But one of the things that I try not to do is I try not to use quote unquote stereotypes in Sankofa's Embrace. And like, if I'm gonna do slang in Sankofa's Embrace, I'm gonna try to create my own slang. I'm not gonna try to use slang that's already out just so people can relate to it. I understand when people do that. I think it goes better if you're doing a comic book that's, I guess, kind of more realistic, or if you was doing a superhero comic book based in a world similar to like this, then slang would, it wouldn't sound cheesy. But I'm doing a fantasy comic book,
right?
And
it would sound weird if you said, "Oh man, this is lit in the world of Sankofa's."
It just shatters. It's just fun. Like I just can't do it unless I was somehow poking fun at it, which I won't do. And I don't know if I can fully answer the question because I'm working on a fantasy, and Marvel, for whatever reason or more, they don't have black fantasies. So I guess if I was working on something that was like a black superhero versus what they're doing, I would just try not to stereotype. I would just try to be as organic as I could. And if I was gonna use slang, try not to use nothing too new. Something that would stand the test of times. I remember when the term player hater came out, and it's still being used. Like it just came out yesterday. So that word needs to be in the Guinness Book of Records for real.
Well, it's funny you brought that up. It's something I actually thought was very interesting about earlier this year. Actually, closer to later last year. But when the 12-issue run of Ironheart started, one of the things I actually really dug was they showed Riri having a conversation with a guy who was like someone she grew up with, back in the day, and they were just talking on the phone, and they were having a conversation that reminded me of the conversations I used to have with my friends when I was 13 and in middle school, whatever. And staying up all night talking about, oh man, what happened on wrestling, man? Oh man, did you catch the last Star Trek, man? Did you catch, man, did you heard that new Jay-Z or whatever? Just like it was one of those things where they were talking about stuff that was like, relevant, or things that were like, kind of, I guess, kind of, I don't want to say fourth wall breaking, but just things that would make you go, oh, okay, this takes place in the real world. But they did it in a way that I thought, Evel Ewing did it in a way where I was like, this feels this feels natural to me because this is a conversation I've had before. I've had the same conversation with my friends on the phone, and even now. I still have these conversations with my friends even now. So like it felt that I think that's the thing that a lot of writers and maybe this also is the difference between a writer of color, a black creator writing a black character
Yeah.
versus back in the day. And no shade to a lot of the guys that used to write it back then. I know there were some guys who were just trying to do the best they could
Yeah.
because they were the only guys that would be allowed to do the job. But there's a huge difference between having a black character, like say you take any black character, I don't care if it's Luke Cage, I don't care if it's Jon Stewart, I don't care if it's Monica Rambeau, I don't care if it's Riri Williams, I don't care if it's Blue Marvel, whoever, 99.9% of the time that character is going to be better when or at least written better, dialogue wise. They'll feel that character's going to feel more realistic to black and brown people if they are written by black and brown people, and we can tell the difference. You know, we can tell the difference when we read those characters. We're like, oh, wait a minute, some don't sound right.
No, I definitely agree. I think the difference between now and back in the gap when they came out with Black Panther and Luke Cage, like you said, it wasn't black people writing these characters. I think now, with a lot of people of color writing comics now, even though Marvel and DC still can do it a little bit better, but even I still have to give them some credit. I think a lot of the comics that come out now, like with the newer black characters like Riri, I got to give Bendis some credit on that one, man. You know, I think a lot of them try better than they used to try back in the day, who are non people of color, white people basically, who are writing some of these characters. I think they try a little bit harder now because they have a different mind state. But I agree with you 120%, man, that a lot of these characters, like these commercial characters, who are people of color, are often written better, or they often sound more alive when they're written by people of color. You know, that's it in a nutshell, right there.
Let's see here. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see here. I don't know if this is so much a question as it is a declarative statement. I see some people they're feeling your Nightcrawler Daredevil idea, which I'm gonna go and tell you right now, just right off the rip. That's an amazing idea. I would read the shit out of that.
I might do some concept art on that one, man.
Here's one. Says, who are some writers and artists you enjoy these days? Now I know Jonathan Hickman's is gonna definitely be one.
Oh God, yeah. Number one right now, number one, Jonathan Hickman. And you're talking to somebody that I've heard his name before, and didn't even realize that I had one of his books when he started his run on Avengers. That was the only issue I had that because I wanted to try it out. Jonathan Hickman. And by the time I started hearing more about him, and then I heard he was going to be on X-Men, I was like, wow, that's going to be interesting. Jonathan Hickman is probably my number one favorite writer right now. But Jonathan Hickman, Scott Snyder, love Snyder. I love what Jason Aaron is doing with Avengers, or at least like the first about first 10 issues or so. It's a fun story. Yeah. Man. And there's somebody else that I'm reading. I loved Tom King's work on Batman. I even loved his Hero in Crisis. I saw your video on that one too. And maybe because I like different stuff, and I thought it was an interesting perspective instead of your big world-ending crossover. You know, it told a real internal story. that I
Yeah.
think went over some less compassionate people's heads. So Tom King, um, Scott Snyder, definitely Jonathan Hickman. Uh,
I think a
definitely
lot
Jonathan.
of people don't like seeing Batman like deconstructed because they're so
Right.
used to him being like all powerful. I think that's a
Yeah.
lot of the problem with like a lot of people. Like I didn't have any issue with Tom King's run. I thought it was great.
Hmm.
Yeah, Heroes in Crisis, of course, same. Uh, same. um, like I don't know. Like, have you checked it out? I always ask people this. Like when people talk about Jonathan Hickman, have you checked out his Fantastic Four?
That's another one I've been hearing about a lot,
His Fantastic
and
Four is legendary.
that's what I've been hearing. And what made me want to pick up his run on Fantastic Four actually was way back in the House of X #1.
Mm-hmm.
Just that short interaction with the Fantastic Four, and the way he wrote them,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, yeah, I've been hearing about this man's work on Fantastic Four. I'm gonna have to put that on my to get list as far as a trade goes. Uh, yeah.
Very good stuff. I would highly, and this is, I know someone asked this question earlier, so I guess technically we're answering it now. Far Sector. I don't know if you've read Far Sector, but Far Sector is very, very good. I forget who is writing. It's N.K. Jemisin.
Okay.
But Far Sector is a Green Lantern book
Okay.
by
Okay.
DC, but it's a entirely new character named I think it's Joe Malign or Joe Mullane.
Yeah.
Her name is Sojourner, but she goes by Joe for short. But
Mm.
she has a very like when Janelle Monáe first came out, she kind of has that look. Like she's
Yeah.
kind of got like the kind of like the afro kind
Yeah.
of like an afro kind of styled in the way of like a pompadour
Yeah.
kind of look to her. Like it's really cool. But I highly recommend. Matter of fact, we were talking about books that or characters you would love to work on. That's actually a character I could see you doing.
Mm.
Just based on her surroundings, her setting,
Mm.
because she's a Green Lantern who's not working in the normal area that Green Lantern's operating. She's that, hence why it's called Far Sector. But she's way out in the weeds, in an area that has all of these random and different alien species
Yeah.
that are just like they're wild. Like there's one that's like they're literally like living internet.
Wow.
And like there's a cannibal species on the planet, and there's and like they subdue emotion and things like that, and just it's really interesting. But like she's all, once again, character of color, written well, because you guessed it, written
Yeah.
by.
But hey, check this out. I didn't know that Children of the Atom is being written by a sister, man.
Yes.
And
Yes. A lot of people don't know that.
yeah,
A lot of
I'm
people don't
definitely.
know that.
I saw the little Marvel preview of it, and I was sold. I was like, bro, this actually looks like it's gonna be a fun book. Um,
The more I've learned about it, the more interested I've become.
yeah.
The more I've learned about it. But it's
I
got the
mean,
classic look.
I love your video, by the way, about the Cape Pride, man.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And I saw, man, it was something that popped in my mind about that one. It was somebody else's video I watched. It was one of somebody broke down Sinister's his first secrets. And it was something about I don't know if it mentioned something about Cape Pride, but it led me wondering. Sinister does clone, you know, but I don't know if you mentioned something about cloning. I think you deconstructed
I
that
think
one like pretty quick.
I think I kind of talk. I think I spend more time talking about the whole like the implications of her, whether she is or is not a Neo, and
Yeah,
the whole external business. I think the cloning. I didn't really get to touch on. Like there was so much. There was so
yeah.
much that was going on there that I was
But
just
whatever it was interesting because the next time the Sinister Secrets popped up, it was in Marauders, and I was like, so I don't know if it's a thing that just randomly popping up in different, Dawn of X titles. But I thought that was an interesting connection. But I love that video you did, by the way,
Thank you.
of just debunking a lot of that.
There's a lot of
But
crazy fan theories about what's going on with her, and a lot. I think the only reason I made that video was because I don't get to answer every comment as much as I would like to. And I was like, this is a way to kind of answer people, but just do it in a video format. Because it's and not only just because I have a lot more time to do it now, but man, y'all have no idea how many ugly comments I see. Y'all have no idea.
Brother,
it becomes depressing.
I can trust me. I think I've commented to you on this one a lot, man. Your energy. Another person who I watch a lot. I watch Rob's videos of Explain, and I watch Reggie Collects a lot. One of the main reasons I watch you guys is because of the energy that you guys put out. It was YouTube video because I watch. Anybody that knows me, I don't watch sports, but I'll watch comic book review shows like it's ESPN. Seriously,
we are kind of we are technically like comic commentators.
Yeah,
that's a thing.
Yeah, and it's a few I used to watch. I can't even watch no more because they would start like it's one thing to not like a creator or an editor. I get it, but when they start insulting the creator and the editor, I'm like, okay, I can't do this. So I've unfollowed them, but I love the energy that you guys put out. So that's one of the reasons why I dig your guys' YouTube videos a lot.
Generally, I try and keep an air of positivity around here, just because it can become a very ugly environment if you foster an ugly environment if all you do is like sow negativity, which is why I always tell people I don't talk about things I don't enjoy, because if I don't have any, the way I was raised was if you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all. And granted, I don't live by that in everything I do, but when it comes to other people's work. Oh wait, here I want to get this here. We want to get this on the here. Yeah, there you go. Hold that bad boy up. There you go. Y'all look at this. Look at the level, dude. This level of just in the pencils alone. Just pencils alone, no color. This is raw pencils.
Yeah, I know we're living in a new age, and a lot of our favorite comic book pencilers nowadays, they use like iPads and what have you. And then, to go back in there, since I'm talking about that, I think they also asked what favorite artist. My favorite artist right now, has always been Jim Lee. Jim Lee and Joe Madureira. Right now, my favorite artist actually is R.B. Silva and Pepe Larraz, man. Even before Hawks and Pox, but definitely during and after Hawks and Pox.
Yeah.
My favorite colorist, Marte Gracia. Love his color works. But plus, I don't have the money to get an iPad right now. But one day. But I still love doing it traditionally. I knew at least with the first issue of Sankofa's Embrace, I was like, look, this is something I wanted to do all my life. Since I've picked up my first X-Men comic book at age 11, I want to do this traditionally. So I got, went to the art store and got my 11 by 17 inch comic book illustration Bristol paper board, Bristol illustration boards, and I pencil on a drafting table.
Yeah.
Using using either a number H lead or a lead holder with a number H lead.
There you
Um,
go.
Once I pencil, I scan it with in a high resolution. I got one of those wide format printers. Which, by the way, if you're doing this and you feel like you don't have resources or you can't afford to, or you just want to keep everything in house, but you can afford to get like a right now I have an Epson wide format printer and scanner. I got it on the scanner alone, not even trying to print big. I just wanted the scanner so I can scan my pages. I scan it on there as a high resolution. Then I bring it into the program I use is Clip Studio Paint. It used to be called Manga Studio.
Whoa, hold the phone. Wait a minute, you just took me
Yeah,
back.
bruh, and I'm
Woo!
telling you, it's affordable. I mean, I'm working with the debut version. I think they call it the EX version. I think that's like
Yeah,
the
it's the
professional.
EX.
Yeah, I think at most maybe it might hit you for 200 or 300. I think if not that. Um,
Wow.
but just with the debut version, what I showed you, like when you saw the finished project of Sankofa's Embrace, I did that just on the debut version, and I taught myself how to use it because I already knew how to use Photoshop, and I played around with Corel Painter. Um, and once I taught myself how to do stuff and using like going to YouTube videos, man, the only thing that I use Photoshop for now is the Dodge tool to like for the lighting and what have you. Uh, that's what I use to color it. And I color it. I know every colorist has their own type of way of doing it. I just approach it like I approach like any type of digital painting.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm hella technical with layers. If you saw how my layers are structured in those programs, you would think I was insane. But then by the time you get to the coloring aspect, when I'm actually dropping the color in it, you'd be like, okay, that's actually easy because I have so many layers of stuff to just drop color in. The process I use what's called grayscale underpainting. And before I got deep into it, I would buy this magazine called Imagine Effects.
Okay.
It's a digital painting magazine, basically, like for science fiction and fantasy art. And I would see these tutorials, and it's like these artists would always like paint in grayscale, and I'm like, oh, I would be thinking they were doing like twice the work, like, wait, you're painting in grayscale, then you're gonna paint on top of it with the color. But then I realized after a few tweaks and all these other little small things they have to do, all they're doing is just dropping the color on top of what they grayscaled. If that makes any sense to anybody listening. but
Oh no, I follow you on that one.
but I found that it helps me achieve the type of look I want, especially with the dramatic lighting. So now I understand like why people color in grayscale now, and then drop color on top. But but I showed you, man, that it starts on paper with me, and then it ends in digital, and then the rest is history after that.
Now, one thing. Losing Stars asked question: when are you gonna have Blerd write a character for your series?
It will be very interesting.
Yeah, I thought say the most interesting part would be when I have the when would I have the time? I have my time is ridiculously limited between this is all I do, but I also got the wife, I got the kid, I got other interests and stuff. So I mean, yeah, my time is always like bare minimum. Um, let's see here. Let's see. I'm going back. Oh, by the way, Akihiko Yoshida.
Yes.
That is the
Yes.
artist for FF12. Thank you, Approach the Nerd.
Thank you so much. I didn't want to butcher his name.
Yeah, I'll do it for you. Yeah. I will do it for you. Let's see here. We got. Let's see. We got one. Oh, and actually, someone else was talking about we got Phantom Brawl. We got this will be Yeah. Phantom Brawl. This is gonna be our last question. And this
All
it
right.
says, "Do you have any advice for new colored comic writers who want to make it on their own?"
Yeah. First of all, man, don't give up. Um, it trust me, man. It can be really hard. And I'm still in the beginning stages. We're doing this. When I'm saying we're doing this independently, it's damn near like on some Kevin Eastman and Peter Lorre type shit, man. Matter of fact, that documentary Turtle Paw is one that I rent a lot on rent on occasions to watch for inspiration. You can rent it on Amazon Prime. That's pretty much, we're just doing it, I guess, at a more advanced level compared to the tools that they had. Just keep going. Use the resources that you have, and I'm not just talking about technical resources, like if you know somebody that prints and all this kind of stuff. I'm talking about emotional resources.
Yes.
Surround yourself with people that believe in your vision. Um, Surround yourself with people that are constantly, even if they irritate you, like constantly asking about the comic, and you at your very beginning stages. Trust and believe, it may be irritating, but those are the people who are probably going to be there for you no matter what.
They're gonna be your biggest supporters.
Yes, they're gonna be your biggest supporters. I'm learning a lot of lessons on the emotion part. That's the best of that particular advice on that side. That's the best advice I can give. Make sure you have some very genuine and honest emotional support. On a technical level, like I said, I'm still in the beginning stages. Of course, done my copywriting and as far as getting that, learning which to get. Do I get an ISSN number or an ISBN number? I learned a lot about that and how if you're doing a serial like a comic book, it's an ISSN number, and then that number supposed to get you whenever you're ready for it. I guess your barcode, and barcoding is something I'm still learning about because some comic shops don't scan barcodes, but then you'll have comic shops that are asked, "What's your diamond barcode?" And I assume that's like that 13-digit barcode. It's like you got the regular 10 numbers and maybe more digits than that. You got your regular numbers, and then you have those like 5 extra numbers or what have you. So, but I learned what all those numbers mean now, those extra numbers. So always educate yourself, but also don't be afraid to breathe. Don't let your creation become the bane in your existence, and if it does, maybe you should create something different or just take a break. But if you love it, like one thing with Sankofa's Embrace, even when we get to the business aspect of it, at the end of the day, I want to have fun with it. Right. It's business now, and it's a whole new level of importance, but it's fun. I have fun doing it, and I want to continue to have fun. And as long as, and it's a commitment to that person who asked that question, it's a commitment, especially if you're serious about it, meaning you're going to have to sacrifice some stuff. And now, sacrifice is a strong word. You might have to push aside some stuff. Like I had to stop doing certain art commissions. I had to charge more for some art commissions because it just made more sense. But also, you got to think in terms of time. I always felt like time was my frenemy. I mean, seriously. Right now, me and time have a very balanced relationship, but working a 9 to 5 that I couldn't stand, but blessed. Oh God, I ain't even doing that. But blessed.
I feel your pain, brother.
But blessed to get on the other side of that business, but loving what I do now because of the schedule, and it opens up more time to do, like we do the local arts markets. I sell my comic. We sell Sankofa's Embrace at the local arts markets. I do library like I try to promote it like the concept art, like I'm doing a traditional art exhibit. I try to find all kinds of unique ways to promote Sankofa's Embrace. And to the person that asked that question, hopefully that at least put a spark in your mind to, okay, well, let me just be experimental. But like I said, at the end of the day, just breathe. Breathe.
Speaking as you know, a lot of times people ask me about like what I do. Sacrifice.
Yeah.
You are going. You have to allow self-care is very important. I can't tell you how many times those of you who are part of the Blerd Koa Discord, which I believe links to it are somewhere in the chat at any point in time throughout this, and they're also in the description. But some of you have seen and maybe not seen that the Quiet Council, who we call our mods of the Discord. They do more than just moderate the chat and make sure people aren't getting out of pocket. A lot of times they just make sure that I'm not overworking myself. There've been plenty of times like, man, I'm thinking about streaming tonight over on Twitch, and they're like, nah, man, take a knee. Yeah. Take a knee, man. Yeah. You're doing too much, man. Go spend some time with your family. A lot of times they'll be like, hey, don't take some time to sit down, chill out, enjoy yourself for a minute. I'm like, hey, I'm working on a video. Like, oh man, just chill for a sec. Like it's one of those things that I would say, kind of like you said, you have people who support you. You also want people who are also going to make you sit down and stop for a minute and not necessarily say stop doing what you're doing, but just don't burn yourself out. But yeah, there's a lot that goes into I mean, like I said, you have to it sounds almost like counterintuitive because like you want to have people who are going to push you, but you also want to have people who are going to pull you. You want to have you don't want to sacrifice everything, but you still got to sacrifice something.
Right.
Yeah, it's like I don't play half as many video games as I used to. I don't go out and hang out till all odd hours of the night anywhere near as much as I used to. Just because I'm like, hey, I'm gonna use that time to be creative or do something constructive.
Right.
And that's I think that's a lot of what it takes. And I think that I think you are proof. You are proof of that like you were able to from the ground up get Sankofa's Embrace going. Coming up with these characters, writing the story. And it may you never realize how much of an effect that your work may or may not have on somebody else. But like that's one of those things like people see that and be like, hey, I can I want to do that. Like just talking to you, I was like, man, dude, wow, I'm out here fucking up. God, I was like, man, I'm fucking up over here. I need to get back on my craft. But I mean, but that's the thing though. And I think that's what we should be seeing, in each other. We should be seeing ourselves out here, doing the work. Making things happen because when we do that, it helps it helps the next wave of people that are going to come along and say, hey, I wonder if I can do this, and they'll be like, wait a minute, this guy did it, he showed me the way, and and we just keep the more we do this, the more we will start seeing more of us in those rooms when Marvel, DC, whoever, they're like, hey, we want to make a black character, and it's like, well, now we got black people in the room because black people were helping each other and inspiring each other. And reaching back, like not necessarily, not closing the door behind us, but keeping the door propped open. Yeah. Yeah, which like I said, I think it's a very important thing. And like I said, you have most certainly inspired me. I can't speak for everybody else, but I'm definitely saying you've inspired me.
Well, man, brother, you always inspire me with all your videos. The passion that the passion that you have for comic books, the honesty that you have for yourself. Uh, it really when I'm one of my routines, man, when I come home from work after I settle in and I'm getting on my drafting board or making my drafting board flat and opening up my laptop to color, one of the things I'm watching is Blerd Without Fear. Uh, so I mean, it's mutual respect, man.
Okay, thank you.
And it's like yeah, man, just it's a whole lot of respect, and that's one of the biggest things about Sankofa's Embrace is no matter how big it gets, because I'm confident that it will get big. I'm gonna still try to be as grassroots as I can with different folks. Some stuff I won't be able to control when it gets big, but as long as I still have that intellectual property, because that's the big thing with me. I'm still gonna try to be as grassroots as I can. And I don't know if it was somebody that was watching the video or watching this live stream, man, but thank you for the purchase.
Hey, there you go. See?
Yeah, and I know it's a heck of an investment. I fought with the pricing, but my wife, Queen, had to sit me down because I was looking at it from a comic book collector point of view, a person that goes to the comic book store every Wednesday. I was like, man, ain't nobody gonna buy it if it's that much. And then it was like, Antoine, think about it. You are not Marvel. You are not DC. You are doing 5 or 6 different jobs, not counting promoting it, not counting actually working on the website, not counting going to the post office and mailing them off and buying the mailing material. She was like, and then when we did it, and I saw how many people was buying it and investing in it, even at the different tier levels I have, like to get signed copies. I realized, she was like, now you realize what I was talking about. I was like, yeah, because I realized how much money I could have lost too. It would have been a struggle. Now, the way things are happening right now, it's making a lot of people think about restructuring different things. But I'm happy when anybody purchases an issue of Sankofa's Embrace, because I'm telling you now, and I tell everybody this when I'm interviewing. If you have a copy of it right now, consider it rare, because once I get distribution with somebody, like perfect creator-owned company like Image, once I get distribution with somebody, it's pretty much gonna be printed on whatever they printed on, unless I have a say-so in that. It's gonna have their logo on the front of the cover. Only thing that people can get directly from me is probably signed copies and things like that. So anybody that makes an investment in Sankofa's Embrace, not only are you investing in building this world and keeping this world alive and keeping me creating it, you pretty much getting something rare.
And I could not agree more. Well, I guess dude, it doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like it, but we have been chopping it up.
Wow.
We have been chopping it up for about over an hour and a half, almost, actually bordering on almost 2 hours. But
yeah,
dude, I got it, like, and I want to, full disclosure, this is actually the first time Antoine and I have actually like spoken like that it, like, we've texted each other, we've emailed each other, but this is actually the first time we've had a like an actual like talking back and forth conversation that wasn't just like reading someone else's words. So I gotta say, I had a great time talking to you. I enjoyed having you on. And we'll have to get you back on here to talk some more. And but once again, I just want to say, I just recently put the link. I'm gonna drop it back in here one more time for Sankofa's Embrace.com here. I'm gonna put this up so y'all can see my guys got it up there, and that's the comic right there. So like I said, go check it out. And and once again, and look, he's showing you the back, and that's actually the website right there. You can see it right there, just in case if you don't
Oh,
see the link.
and I'm about to drop as soon as I finish creating it, I'm creating a trailer video for issue 2.
Oh wait, so we're gonna get a trailer video.
Oh
Okay, so
yeah.
yeah, definitely. Hey, when you get that ready, let me know. And like I said, I got you. Trust me, I got you on that one.
Appreciate that, brother.
I will plug that for you. I'm not ashamed. But once again, just thank you so much for taking the time to sit and talk with me.
Awesome. Thank
And
you for having me.
yeah, like I said,
It's an honor.
and we have each other's numbers, so like I said,
Yep.
we will definitely be in touch with one another, and I may have to pick your brain here pretty soon too.
Man, feel free.
Just to kind of get me moving in the right direction. But
Gotcha.
man, Antoine, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Y'all go check out Sankofa's Embrace. Remember, it's sankofasembrace.com. I got the link there in the chat, just sitting right there for you. Go check it out. Go
Appreciate
support
it, y'all.
this good work.
Appreciate all y'all. Bless, brother.
You have yourself a good one, man. Take care, man. Stay safe, man.
You too.
Man, you and yours stay blessed. Okay.
You as well. You as well. Bless.
All right. Take care. All right, so that was my guy. That was my guy, Antoine Mitchell. Man, I wanted to say once again, just I want to say thank you. This is kind of the first time we really done like an interview like this live. I usually pre-record them and then do production and edit the shit and put it out. But this was actually really cool. I really enjoyed doing this way. We're gonna try and get some more like this, especially right now since nobody's got really anything going on. But maybe we'll try and see if we can get some other people to come in and chit chat with us, chop it up, and all that good stuff. I don't know. If you got ideas about people you want me to bring on and talk to, feel more than free to let them know, because I often let these people know, but they don't often get back to me. Antoine Mitchell was one of the few that actually we talked and it just worked out that way. But we shall see. We shall see. Now, that said, there wasn't really a whole heap of a lot in the way of news today. So that's kind of why we really didn't spend any time really talking about it. Anything that I could have talked about today, honestly, it would have been nothing. It was literally like, man, because the industry is slowed down, therefore news is slowed down. But I will say real quick, I do have some questions. here in the Discord that I'm going to answer real quick. And if y'all have any questions for me, y'all can throw them in the chat, and I will answer. Oh, hey, Staff Sergeant. Thank you for that super tip. Thank you for that super chat. Thank you. Dropping $5 on me, just saying I'm here for it. Man, thank you so much for that. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. There we are. Yeah, I'm going back here. I'm just double checking and looking. Yeah, nothing new has changed. Yeah, nothing really has changed here. Okay. Let's see. So this one was from last week. This is from Vader Gypsy. It says, hey, can anyone recommend any suspense thriller anime similar to Naoki Urasawa's Monster? Ooh. Now, here is where I will be terribly embarrassed. I don't think I have ever at any particular point in time watched it. Been really weird about anime lately. Anime's been kind of a Anime's been kind of in a weird spot for me lately. But having not seen it, I can't really say 100,000 percent. However, I will say if you want something suspense thriller, you can never really go wrong with something like if you've never seen Perfect Blue. I always recommend that. Perfect Blue is really good. That's an older anime for those who aren't familiar. Much older, like I think it was like early 2000s. But it's a movie, not a series. And from what I understand, I don't know if it's actually come out yet. I believe that the Junji Ito series, Uzumaki, the anime, I don't know if that has actually I don't know if that's actually hit yet, but I'm pretty sure that would be something really interesting to check out too. Paranoia Agent, yes, definitely. Death Note, yes, that also. I'm actually sitting here kind of looking because, like, a lot of times the anime that I watch, I never really think of like genres for it. So it just really kind of depends on like what it is. But here, let's see here. I'm going to Ranker right now. Basically what they classify as suspense thriller anime. Some of it I don't agree with, but yeah, I guess others maybe. They have Parasite the Maxim listed on here. I would recommend that. I actually really like Parasite the Maxim. Tokyo Ghoul, which I don't count that as suspense thriller, but whatever. It's good up until you get to I think like the second season. Psychopaths, I definitely would recommend. I would recommend Psychopaths. Steins Gate, Dead Man Wonderland. I would actually say the manga, less the anime. And I never really got into it, but I know a lot of people really enjoy it. Serial Experiments Lane, that's an older one. Not exactly my cup of tea. I've heard a lot of good things about B, The Beginning. This is also on Netflix. And let's see. Boogie Pop Phantom is weird, but also interesting. Now, that said, I guess this isn't so much a suspense thriller, but the old ADV series, Noir, that's another really good one I like a lot. But like I said, it just depends on, it really just kind of basically breaks down to what your definition of suspense thriller is in regards to anime. I'm going back through here, just kind of looking through this list, and like I said, a lot of it's stuff that I'm just kind of like, I don't know if I'd count that, but that is there's some I see in here. I'm definitely like, yeah, I could see those. Here, let's see what we got here. Yeah, those are all the ones I think of. Let's see, Orochi 7 says dropped a $5 super chat. Thank you. You rock. It says, I foresee another schism among mutant kind, specifically amongst the Quiet Council. Anyway, anybody care about Mania? Me neither. Yeah, I don't give a shit about WrestleMania this year either. Fuck Mania. Now, schism, I could see that happening again. I could see another schism. I actually think the schism would probably wind up being, probably would amongst the Quiet Council, but I would not be surprised if like a subset of mutants started like kind of bucking against the current trend of what's going on in X-Men right now. I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen at some point. I wouldn't be surprised if a faction of mutants outside Krakoa started that. Let's see here. Let's see. Kevin said, was it Mirai Nikki is a classic. I have to check that out. 3x3 Eyes. Man! 3x3 Eyes. That is actually a really good one. Damn, I forgot about that. Oh wow, I actually slick forgot about that's old school. That's for those of you you know what? Now that you've said that, you've made me go back into my old school anime mode. Okay, so one of my old favorites. Not so much with the series, but with the OVAs. You used to have one that was called Silent Mobius. I actually really liked those. It was 2 movies. Technically, they had there was one that came out in 1991, and they had a second one that came out in 92. Those are both really good. Twilight of the Dark Master is also really fucked up. And then of course, if you go to what was it? Kevin threw out Jinro, the Wolf Brigade. That is a messed up one. But more set like in a real world setting. Well, as real world as anime can be. Mercedes says, I've been getting those magical girl animes lately. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm a huge fan of Tokusatsu, so I'm right there with you. I love me a good magical girl series, whether it's anime or live action. I actually am a big fan of, was it back in the day, not just, Sailor Moon, just to use as an example as a magical girl, but you had Devil Hunter Yoko, you had Cutie Honey. There's a lot of different ones, but the Sailor Moon is always the one people think about. Let's see. Dirty Pair is pretty good old school anime. Yes, it is. Actually, yes, it is. The Dirty Pair, they had, what was it? Now, you had the series that was the old ADV, Dirty Pair Flash. I think, or was it Dirty Pair Flash? It was Dirty Pair something. Here, let me see. Yeah, Dirty Pair Flash, yeah. And then you had, what was it? They had 3 OAV movies. They had a Pharaoh Nalandia, the Flight 005 Conspiracy. There was a third one. God, what was it called? I'm blanking on it. Project Eden. Project Eden was the other one. Those were really good ones. Also, by the way, speaking of old school anime, this is actually something I did want to talk about. If you are an old school anime fan like myself, they did actually release a free app that you can get on Android, iOS, Fire Stick, all that stuff, called Retro Crush. And it's nothing but retro anime. They have some newer stuff on there too, but stuff that's like basically anything from like early 2000s on back. You can find a lot of stuff on there. I was actually watching some old anime on there. Really good stuff. Let's see here. Oh, Extra, man, thank you for that super chat. $10 says, what up? What up, though, Blerd K fan? Thanks again for getting me through my work day. I'm picking up that comic book. Enjoy your day, week, and of course, wash your damn hands. We'll get through this ish. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you so much for that extra, and like I said, hope and be safe, please. Please be safe. Be careful out there. A lot of people. Not people I personally know, but like a lot of people that the world knows. A lot of people have been getting this shit, and dude, it ain't good. It ain't good. We've actually been losing a lot of people as a result of this. So yeah, I can't say it enough. Stay safe, please. Wash your hands. Be careful. This is an airborne, or not? I guess theoretically an airborne virus, just in the sense that being around people, talking to people, breathing on people, you can get it that way. So I know people are taking wearing masks more seriously. So please, 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 be safe. Let's see. And what was it? Have you seen AD Police? Yes, I have. I've seen actually. I think AD Police is on Retro Crush, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, and here we go. Poe Archery Media. That's actually our guy we were just talking to, Antoine Mitchell. That is him right there. So yes. Yeah, he just wanted to give a little shout out, just say, hey, appreciate all the love in the comments, love and blessings, peace, all that good stuff. And like I said, just y'all please, just make sure you're staying safe. Don't take any unnecessary risk if you don't have to. Don't do it. See, someone in here just brought up Cowboy Bebop and Black Lagoon. Yes, and that's a genre of anime a lot of people don't bring up is seinen. Seinen anime rarely ever gets brought up anymore. All people focus on is shonen. That's all people focus on anymore. But me, I'm a seinen guy. And for those who don't know what seinen is, yes, that's Cowboy Bebop, Black Lagoon, Hellsing, anime that is more adult. Also, I will say that if you are not watching the Blade of the Immortal anime that's on Fire Stick on Amazon Prime, very good. I love Blade of the Immortal. It is it is probably one of my favorite mangas. I actually am going to go and say it is my favorite manga. Straight up, hands down. Blade of the Immortal, Gunsmith Cats, debating on, trying to think of some others. Oh, man. Yeah, those are, a lot of those. Those are some of my favorites. Hands down. Let's see here. Oh, I got another question here. We got a question from Rough Rider 86. He says, I was doing some thinking on the Inhumans. Why? Who knows? But I think they were intended to be a very off-brand Justice League. Karnak is Batman, Trident is Aquaman, Black Bolt is Clark, Medusa is Diana, etc. Does quarantine have me make connections where there are none? I am not against what you're saying. I mean, I actually think of the Inhumans as off-brand X-Men. That's kind of how I think of them. Or off-brand New Gods is what I think of them as. But yeah, like I said, I don't think there is not necessarily a connection. I think there definitely is one somewhere in there. So, whoa, dude. My God. My guy, Elevation Allah, says, keep producing the quality content. I think you should have a segment that showcases black female cosplayers. I wouldn't complain. I bet your subs would go up by 1,000%. Hey, you know what? I'm not against that. By the way, man, thank you for that $50 super chat, dude. You are out here doing the Lord's work. Thank you. And just that hit me in my soul. My God. Honestly, okay, so in all seriousness, I actually have thought about trying to reach out to some black female cosplayers. I know more than my fair share. And I was actually thinking about trying to, get one or more of them to come be on the show. So, we'll see what happens. I'm not against it. I'm not against it at all. I think anyone who knows me knows I love I love seeing our sisters out there, doing what they do, whether it's cosplaying, creating, whatever. So we're definitely gonna do that. So yeah, don't you fret. Don't you fret. We are going to do that. Was the extra says Devilman original OVA and Devilman Crybaby series was seinen as fuck. Yes, they... Okay, but one thing I will say, do not, and I repeat, do not waste your time watching the live-action Devilman movie. It is garbage. Okay, let's see here. We have got one more in here from the Discord from Belodia Vulcan. Thinking about it, I don't recall a Bard-type character from D&D in Marvel. If you could, would you like to see a Bard-type superhero / mutant / villain? I would personally love it because Bard is actually, next to Paladin, one of my favorite classes to play. Actually, it's Paladin, Ranger, Wizard, Bard, and not even really in any particular order, but like if I'm going to play, and actually no, I tell you that, Monk. Those are 5 classes. If you ever play Dungeons and Dragons or games like Dungeons and Dragons with me, you'll notice those will be the things I'll think about. Like, do I want to make a monk, or do I want to make a paladin, or do I want to make a bard, or do I, so on and so forth. But I would love that because bards are interesting. Their charisma is what gets them through everything. And it doesn't even have to be singing. That's the thing people don't get. I play bards that are stand-up comedians. I play bards that are rock stars. I've played bards that are rappers. I played bards that are slam poets. I played bards because basically a bard is just an entertainer. That's all they are. They're just an entertainer. And they entertain through telling a story in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Matter of fact, for those who remember the character, technically it's Dandelion in the Witcher Netflix series, a bard. And sometimes I would be that type of character. Just like a very, just kind of like, oh my god, I'm so over all this, and just, it's a thing. But anyway, I've even played a mime, like a bard mime. It can be a thing. Let's see here. Actually, well, if you do it right. Let's see here. It says, Beelzebub is on Retro Crush. Also, Angel Cop is also on Retro Crush, which I love Angel Cop. It's got some bad dubbing in there, but I don't care. Let's see here. Oh, I know God, why the fuck am I blanking on her name right now? Oh God. Wait a minute. Yeah, in Philadelphia. Yeah. I'm blanking on her name, but I got it pulled up right here. Ariel Johnson. Yeah, Ariel Johnson. Who is just amazing. One of these days, I'm going to try and reach out to her too, see if I can get her on. LJ Mack with the $10 super chat. Just saying, support. Man, I appreciate that. Thank you. This is, what happened to Jumper 2? Samuel Jackson was a paladin in that movie. You know what happened to Jumper 2? It became a CW show, if I'm not mistaken. Jumper is one of those movies really weird. Like, it's not great, but it's one of those, like, it's interesting to watch. Monk Gang, underappreciated class. Damn right, man. Damn right. He says, well, Retro Crush doesn't work in the UK. Have to see if it works with a VPN. Yeah, I don't know why they don't have it up in the UK. I mean, that's just weird to me. What is Monk? Oh, he's talking about the Monk character class. We said Monk Gang. This is Retro Crush. It's an old school anime streaming service. Now, I will be fair. A lot of the anime that they have available to stream is also available on other platforms. However, they have it all in one place. So, yes. But here, let me, because now that I'm sitting here, I want to see if I can actually let's find her on the socials, because Twitter is how I move and operate. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna try and reach out to her, and I got a couple others in mind. But that said, man, yeah, that is just, it's too wild. It's too wild. Okay, here, let's see. Let's see, what's this right here? Oh, wait, that's the thing that did end up working out. Also, this is kind of a sidebar. Not really the most important thing in the world, but for X-Men fans who also have Disney Plus, you might give a shit about this. They did actually make it possible for you to change your profile pictures on Disney Plus to X-Men characters, and all of the principal X-Men from the X-Men animated series are present. Now you have to scroll all the way to the bottom because they do it alphabetically, I think. But yeah, it's if you go to the bottom, they have an X-Men category, and you can get Cyclops, Wolverine, Jean, Professor X, Magneto, Beast, Jubilee, Gambit. Gambit is one, and I think Rogue as well. Basically, and Storm, duh. But the primary X-Men from the X-Men animated series are all available as avatar icons if you are feeling if you're feeling froggy. If you are feeling froggy and just want to you want to get in on that. Let's see. I will say last thing that I'm going to leave us with, and I'm going to get out of here. Actually, you know what? I do want to ask a question. I want to ask I want to ask everyone in here a question. Because of everything that's going on right now. I actually have considered the prospect of hey Jay, how you doing? I have considered the prospect of doing more than one live stream a week. I don't know how people would feel about that. I know people have asked me in the past, but I didn't know. That was before I got suspended from YouTube and couldn't stream on YouTube anymore. I don't know. You guys let me know. And we'll see what we can come up with. Hey, and of course, dude, Antoine coming through with the $5 super. Dude, thank you. Thank you, my guy. Like, you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to do that. Thank you. Thank you for that. And just dropping in just for the support, man. Thank you. Just showing this, just showing some love, man. Hey, right back at you, brother. Like I said, yeah, more stream. Okay, so what I might do is, I'm debating how I would do it. Cause I was actually thinking about doing like some, maybe do like some, I don't know, I guess maybe just a bullshit show, just do like a bullshit stream where just sit around. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to see. Well, yeah, my Twitch streams are midnight. That is, I need to actually stream more during the day. That I do need to do. Actually, one of these days, I'm going to make myself do it more during the day. I think I always feel guilty because I always feel like I'm taking time away from, like, the fam. But, let's see here. So you were ordering a chicken sandwich from Burger. This is not sponsored. It's all good, Elevation. Hey, no, I was saying that, would anybody be offended if I did a second live stream here on YouTube? I will try and start doing earlier streams on Twitch as well, because I know, yeah, and also because, my God, the last few times I've streamed on Twitch, it was like in the middle of the night, and it was like I wouldn't get off stream until like 5:30 a.m. or 6 a.m. So yeah, that's gonna be a thing of the past, I believe. I'm gonna try, actually, just for my own personal health. I've been thinking about doing more streams on Twitch during the day, but I do want to do an extra one here on YouTube just because I know y'all enjoy it, and I know a lot of y'all don't get to come over to Twitch, and I know, and also I totally understand the idea that no one wants to. You have to make an extra, account or something like that just to, use another service. I totally get that. That is not lost on me, because I don't like doing it either. Nightway, thank you. He says do that second live stream, bro. With the 7-7. Ooh, man, with the 777s, dude. Hey, I ain't mad at you, player. With the 777 super chat, man. Thank you for that. Like I said, yeah, I'll definitely get more serious about it. Wilbur Robinson says, are you going to watch WrestleMania? Maybe only if Brother One. If One Above None's around, I don't know if he's going to be home tonight because he's the one who has WWE Network. I don't have it. Maybe if he feels goodly enough to want to watch it, but we'll see what happens. And let's see here. Let's see. Jay Harold said Blerd Thug live stream. What grinds Blerd's gears? Oh God, we'd be here all day talking about that. I have a lot of things that grind my gears. Good Lord. But yeah, we'll probably consider it. You know what? Maybe I have to think about what day to do it. I may try and space them out, like not have too much going on, like back to back. But maybe like I said, we do something on Saturday. I was thinking maybe do something on Wednesday. I don't know. Maybe we could do it on Wednesday. Maybe do like a Wednesday night stream or something like that. Or maybe Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening, something like that. I don't know. We could see. Only thing that's weird about, for right now, Wednesday would be great because there aren't any new comics coming out. So I'm not going to be busy working on videos on new comics because I would be not reading new comics. So maybe we might do something maybe we can do something on Wednesdays. I don't know yet. We'll shop around some dates, see what happens. To get thuggy with it, I want to see that. I mean, yeah, hey, look, look, I don't get ratchet often, but I have the ability. Just roast different characters. Like I said, we'll probably look into that then. I don't know, we'll see. Like I said, it'll probably just be me just like fucking around. Just tripping, like no agenda, just tripping with y'all in the chat, just like I do on Twitch. A lot of times I do like just chatting. A lot of times I'll just sit there and just chit chat with y'all because that's more fun sometimes than playing the game that I'm gonna play. Let's see. What Benjamin said was, "Love your videos, bro. Wanted to know what you're reading these days, man. A lot. I'm caught up on Immortal Hulk. Of course, I read X-Men pretty regularly. Been going back and reading old X-Men comics. Rereading, rather. Catching up on stuff that... catching up on things I missed and rereading things that I've already read. Daredevil. I love Daredevil a lot. As the moniker of the channel would imply. Blur Without Fear, Man Without Fear. You do the math. I love a lot of Image comics. Right now I'm reading, I did finish a while ago, reading Die, and I got caught back up on that. Murder Falcon, another one, Paper Girls. I'm catching up on Paper Girls, which is a really good comic. What's another one? Crowded is a really good comic. What's another one? Gideon Falls is pretty good. Pretty much almost anything from Image is going to be great. Deadly Class is another good comic. I always recommend Kill or Be Killed. What's another one? Why am I blank? God Country. God Country is really good. That's one by Donny Cates. Saga is one I think I might actually get back into. I liked the first couple of issues of Saga. It was really good, so I'm going to go ahead and get back into that. Bitter Root. Just saying. Throwing it out there. Bitter Root is fantastic. Just saying. Far Sector, which that's DC. We talked about that earlier. What else is there? Oh, duh. I read Captain Marvel pretty regularly because I love it. And Avengers, Justice League. I'm off and on Captain America just because I like to stack it up and then read it. Black Panther, of course. I'm way behind on Flash, so now is a good time to catch up. And Wonder Woman, way behind on Wonder Woman too. Oh, Miss Marvel, love Miss Marvel too. Champions, Jim Zub run is great. Let's see here. It says, can movie night become a regular thing at least for a little while? Yeah, okay. So movie night, yes. For those who don't know, we were doing movie night in the Discord. Okay. So the reason why I hadn't done it as regularly as I initially wanted to, excuse me, is because one, time. Because of quarantine and everything, I've been trying to spend as much time with the family, but I also want to spend time with you guys too. So that's also a thing. And sometimes I'm in the Discord just kind of screwing around. Some people don't notice it, but maybe I should let people know. Maybe that should be a thing. Maybe I should tag everyone, be like, say, hey, I'm in voice chat, just fucking around. But sometimes I'm streaming there, like I'll stream in the Discord just for y'all. And I'm usually streaming a video game I'm playing, or if I'm watching a TV show or a movie, I'm streaming, me watching said thing. I don't know, man. I don't really know. Let's see here. Do a reading rainbow type stream with old comics. I could do that. I would not be against that. Let's see here. I have missed some things here. See. Says, Allah says, I think it makes sense if you would be targeting a different subject matter and or different audience. From a marketing perspective, it would be ideal for potential advertisers. Yeah, that is true too. We have a game night. That is also another thing. I've thought about that as well. I'm feeling everything, especially the Reading Rainbow stuff. I actually have thought about that. I don't know how it would go over, but I mean, you never know. Have a live stream where people come up with their own fantasy universe, animated or live action with different properties. That could be a thing. Cover some older stories. You brought up Oblivion song. Yep, that's a thing. Yeah. Let's see. So I gotta ask, do you listen to Thundercat? No. Oddly enough, I don't. I feel like I should now. And here, let's see. I don't, but you know what? You have there you go. Should be a thing now. Let's see here. Let's see here. Said Bitterroot, is that when Groot goes ham? No, Bitterroot is when a group of black demon and monster hunters in 1920s Harlem hunting down monsters that are created by hatred and racism. It's a very good comic. Love it. Says Lotus Scholar says, we on that P5R tonight? Maybe. We'll see what happens. To cover older Silver Age X-Men and Daredevil. Love the channel. Thank you, Jason. Thank you. Let's see. Allah says, Ernie, I wish you would interview writers, artists, and other pioneers of the comic industry. I would love to see an interview with the founders of Milestone Comics. I tell you what, I'll reach out. I will reach out. I mean, of course, obviously we can't get Dwayne McDuffie because he's no longer with us, but I definitely will try and reach out to some of the other ones. I know Cohen has been making the rounds lately. Maybe I can get a hold of Cohen. We'll see what happens. Let's see. Yeah, dude, Bitterroot is magnifique. Chef's kiss. That's right. Magnifique. I love it. Actually, I want to also try and get other people who are doing stuff in the Blerd community. Because I know there's not just myself. I know there's other people out there. Blerd Up, Color Commentary, Blerd Girl, Blerds and Whiskey. Which, by the way, I don't talk about this enough, and maybe I should. I'm awful at promoting. But for those who don't know, a while back, I actually did partner with Blerd.com. So definitely go check out Blerd.com. They actually post a lot of my stuff on there. I'm affiliated with them. They're great. They do the Lord's work in trying to spread the word about black content creators. So definitely go check them out. Ask him what's up with Milestone 2.0. I tell you what, if I can get a hold of him, you know what? That's what that'll be on the agenda for today. Is reaching out to different people. We're gonna reach out to some different folks, see what we can come up with. Let's see here. Here, let me. I tell you what, I have Dragon Ball Do-Rag up, and I'm gonna listen to it after. I'm not gonna listen to it on stream because I'm really not trying to catch another suspension. But I will definitely, I'll definitely be listening to that once this is over. Let's see here, what else we got. Well, like I said, everything else we're gonna kind of see what happens. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Today, I am gonna be playing the role of Mr. Mom because I am going to be the only parent in the house for the foreseeable parts of the day, and when my wife gets home, I'm probably gonna spend some time with her for a little bit. So that's honestly a lot of why a lot of the stuff I do on Twitch happens later in the evening, or at night, middle of the night at that. Let's see here. Was it Lockstyle says, have you read the Untamed or Niobe by Sebastian A. Jones? I have not. Here, let's. Here, wait a minute. Where is? Let's see here. Let me see if I can find this. Okay, I think I have found it. Okay, I will be adding this to my list of things to do. Both of them. Both of them is what I'll be adding. I'll be adding both of them. Let's see here. What else we got? Trying to think if there's anything else that comes to mind that's important to note. Okay, I guess let's address this elephant in the room. Some of you may have noticed, I actually have changed. I have actually changed how I am doing channel memberships here. And actually Patreon is going to be doing the same. I swear, I feel like I do this all the time, but I think what's gonna just start happening is and not just, this isn't just in light of everything that's going on right now. This is just period. It's kind of the way I've kind of always felt about everything, and I've always changed my mind, and I think this time is just gonna stick. What's gonna be happening going forward with channel memberships and Patreon is, I'm still going to have tiers where, if you want to give X amount, whatever. However, the change now is going to be, as far as exclusive videos, members only videos, some of you may have even already noticed I've done this. That I've just been making them available to anyone who's a patron. For a while I was doing it where you had to be a certain level of patron to get them. But now I'm just kind of fuck it. Y'all just, you're supporting me. Fuck it. Y'all got them. So that's just going to be a thing. And that way you just support at whatever level you want. I mean, I'm not asking anybody to, just saying that if you do, support at whatever level that you are comfortable with, whatever level you want. And we're just going to leave it at that. I put up a members only video the other day covering Giant Size X-Men, Nightcrawler, and some stuff that actually tied into a previous members only video that I did. I'm going to try and be more regular about doing members only videos. I don't know, sometimes it just happens, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I just have a hard time thinking of things to do for them. But that said, I'm still going to be doing a lot of that stuff. It's just that instead of just being like, hey, if you're at the dollar tier or whatever, you only get this. If you're this tier, you only get that. Instead of doing that, we're just going to do just blanket done. You support. That's it. That's we're not gonna do any more of this because not only that, it's difficult to keep up with. it's more of a pain in the ass to keep up with than anything else. So it's just easier if everybody just gets the same thing and it's just, hey, you get my undying love and gratitude. But that said, I think it is time. Let's see. Allah said Ernie, Black Panther was a successful movie, but let's not pretend the Blerd media had nothing to do with that. That's true. We had a lot to do with that. Black people were, black people in media were touting the hell out of it all over social media. That's, yeah. Honestly, I feel like we should have some stock in Marvel Studios at this point. You say, Tubes, you say you've been catching up on Silencer. I need to check out Silencer. I need to check that out. I think I read the first issue. Wasn't bad. I actually kind of enjoyed it. Let's see here. Did you ever pick out any Kamen Rider episodes you'd like to show? Like Golden Child? Yes. Yes, I have, actually. I'm gonna, honestly, I know a lot of people it'll probably come off as weird to a lot of people, but I actually kind of want to show people Kamen Rider Gaim because it's one of my personal favorites, and I think it's one of the better Kamen Rider seasons. So yeah, I definitely, if we do any Kamen Rider, we'll probably do Kamen Rider Gaim. Build is another one I thought about doing too, but Gaim just has that special place in my heart that, I don't know. I might not want to do it because, man, y'all probably I have to mute myself because my ass will be crying the whole fucking time. Yeah, that's right. Look, right? Exactly. Y'all are wild in the chat. Says, what do you think about the possible Spawn movie being spoken of? I don't think it's gonna happen. Alpha Griot, I don't think it's gonna happen. It's largely because Todd McFarlane is wanting too much control over the movie. And it's like, he's asking for too much. But that said, yeah, we're going to get out of here. Like I said, go follow me over on twitch.tv/Blerd Without Fear if you have not done so already. Let's see here what we got going on over here. Oh, apparently I am hosting right now. I am hosting. Here, kill that for a sec. But yeah, if you get a chance, go swing by over there. You can check out what I do over on that side of things. Like I said, I'm typically just playing video games, and that sort of thing. Been playing a lot of Persona 5. The Royal lately. We just wrapped up Doom Eternal. You can kind of see here some of the games I've been playing. We played, the Nemesis demo, Mother Russia Bleeds, Killing Floor 2, so on and so forth. We played a lot of different things, but it just kind of depends on what your vibe is. But make sure swing by the Discord, join in if you haven't already. For those of you who have joined in, if I haven't addressed you yet, I shall, never fear. Because it looks like we do have some new. Yep, LJ Mack jumped in. LJ Mack is in this mofo. Thank you for joining in. And like I said, everything is just everything. We're gonna get out of here. We may do a watch party a little later. Keep your eyes peeled on the Discord for that, because that's where it's going to happen. I might make an announcement. I might put up a little poll. We'll put up a poll and see what people want to watch. and we'll go from there. But anyways, everyone, have a good and blessed evening. Take care of yourselves. And please wash your damn hands. And I will see you all next time. Good night and goodbye. Bang!